morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to another live VIP stream. It's been far too long. It's been a week. It's been a week since I last Final Fantasy stream. I mean, technically we were live yesterday with Eureka, but that was Eureka. That was a little bit different. Here we are live with the MSQ, with some main story questline coverage here of Final Fantasy 14. Let's go. Let us go. We are here, we are back, and I'm not going to be alone. As always, I'm joined by a fellow cranky duckling. As always, I'm joined by the one, the only, the Koopa. Hello, Koopa. Hello. Beautiful. You look very Kugane.
No. Yeah, sure. Let's say Kugane.
Huh.
Wait, I actually like this outfit, so I glamoured it.
Ah, yeah. Can you glamour that onto like fighting gear or no?
You can glamour it on anything because they removed all the restrictions on glamour.
There you go. There you go.
But
yeah,
I do have it on my crafters. But this is actually a gathering outfit.
That's okay. Okay. Yeah, makes sense.
The top, I mean, specifically.
But yeah, but we were live yesterday, just covering Eureka, of course. We were live with Eureka yesterday. Now we're here with some MSQ. As a brief reminder as to where we are in the main story quest line, we were in the Enclave. We were in the Enclave. We were kind of building it up. If you recall, the big scene was that Azula, as to be expected, got her memory back. It's one of those things where it was really annoying because for some reason they kept alluding to it, but the main character, specifically Hien, did nothing about it.
The story kept alluding to it, but the characters seem completely oblivious.
No, the story kept alluding to it, and characters kept commenting on it as well, right? Like they
they didn't like do anything about it.
There were characters that would comment on it, but it was Hien who wouldn't. Hien, like they just chose not to do anything with that character. Like he wasn't really saying anything about it, which is really weird that some characters were like, you know, speaking on it and others weren't. So it was just very, it was.
And so, do you remember how she like escaped 3 times before it happens?
Well, that's the thing, right? Just because of how the story is told, I think we already spoke about it, but it just speaks on like the ineptitude of Hien and on the Domins to allow that to happen, because it shouldn't be happening. Like it just none of it makes any sense, like story wise. Like there are better ways to write it, better ways to try to come about at this. The fact that she just keeps escaping randomly, and the fact that like, you know, they didn't do anything about her getting her memories back, and they didn't have any kind of safety precautions or anything. It just doesn't make any sense. You can still have like this. You can still have the same outcome. All you have to do is like, hey, like we set, because of what's been happening, we set guards on her room, and then have her kill them. Like just have her like kill the guards and get it. Like that's what you.
She's capable of that.
Exactly. Like so that's what you have to do. Is that you can even have her like, you know, be like, oh, you know, I'm gonna go and I have to go to the bathroom or something, and then like act innocent and just like fucking stab them in the neck or something. Like you can still have the same outcome, just write it in a different way that makes it seem like they were at least they were trying to do something to contain her in case something went wrong, but they didn't do anything.
An attempt was made.
And they didn't do anything with it, so that it's just poor storytelling, unfortunately. But she got away. Apparently randomly her parents were there. Like they didn't explain that her parents would be staying in Doma. They had like a brief like back and forth dialogue, making it sound like they got banished there. Like they were like banished from the Empire.
I wouldn't say banished, more like the Empire sent them there. Like, I don't know if banished is the right word, because it's not like they were in poor standing and like, you know, as punishment they were sent. They were sent for a reason. No, that's what they said. They said that because of her poor performance as the vice like leader elect in the area, because she did poorly, then they lost, and that's why they were upset at her. Like they were upset at her because she messed up, and because of that their lives were. No. Because she messed up in her leadership role, like they were in poorer standing with the Empire, and they were upset that they were there because they're like, now we did, like, you know, now our quality of life has been reduced because of you, and they were blaming her. If you remember, they were doing this. They were doing this before they realized that she had got her memory back. Yeah, but I thought that was just like that she was just that the pirates were just planted there as bait, like for strategic reasons, and not because like they themselves like lost the standing.
No, they themselves lost the standing. That's why they were upset with her, and they specifically were referencing her poor performance as.
Let me rephrase that. That doesn't negate them being upset, but more that like that's what they were told. But the reality was that they didn't actually lose the standing, but. No. Because that was the strategy they got sent there. Is my point. Not that they think otherwise.
And I'm saying
like
that's wrong.
There was
like
a different goal.
Yeah, they were sent there because like they lost their standing like in the greater empire, because she did such a poor job like handling like the Dolmen situation. But the problem is that was all explained after they were revealed to be there. There was no lead up to us having any understanding that they would be there to begin with, which is kind of weird. Yeah, that they would just be walking around the
and no one like informed anyone that they would be staying either.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like it was an inserted thing, right? It was inserted. There was no explanation leading up to that to kind of set that up, unfortunately. But yeah, so they were just randomly there. She killed them. Her younger brother showed up, and they are doing something. We don't really know what. I think we spoke about it. We spoke about how it seems like maybe like he's like kind of like being a little bit of a pulling the strings, like being a puppet master and kind of like leading her to do something, but we don't really know what. We don't really know what the plan is right now and what they want to do.
And she's fairly aware.
Yeah. She seems fairly aware, but at the same time, like she doesn't come off as like very smart or very like intellectual or very like intellectual like person. So we're talking about how like it would have been. It feels like he's using her, and she's even letting him use her. So we're trying to like
that's what understand. I would say. That like right now it looks like she's letting him use her.
Yeah,
like,
and
she's fully aware of what's happening. She's just letting him do it.
Yeah, and we were talking about how. Yeah, I guess we'll see what happens between the two of them. We don't really know what the plan is exactly. All right, that's what I was saying. We were saying that we didn't really know what their relationship was like. We were just trying to piece it together based on their interactions, just because that relationship was never really fully expanded upon. So we didn't really know if they're friendly with each other, if they care about each other, if they don't, like if they hate each other or what. Like we don't.
Yeah, because I thought
we don't really know exactly.
I thought that because like she was sold and he was like in the academy, that basically they haven't seen each other since they were kids, but they were both working for Galleons, so it feels like there's a high chance they have interacted while working with the Galleons.
Yeah, like we don't know what their relationship is really like. Yeah. But yeah, so that's happening. We're here for a reason. I think we want to use their canoes. What happened? Why do we want to use the canoes?
Yeah, we wanted canoes for something.
Yeah, there's something happening. We need. Oh right, I think it might be related to the Red Cochin. Maybe that we're gonna use their canoes. Maybe I don't know. Let's
I was gonna read, but there's literally no context in the quest.
What he needs seems keen to take stock of the situation. Okay, we're taking stock. All right. Tansui. Speak to Tansui. In my mind, Yotsuyu is deserving of only one fate. Memory loss be damned. True. See, this guy knows what's up. And if you don't have the stones for it, we would be happy to take on the burden. It'll be over nice and swift. So look at this guy. See? Jesus. Gosetsu be damned. Alright.
I clicked.
Alright, yeah, Rasha. Now there's a face I did not expect to see. What brings a noble lord of Doma into a company of bilge rats such as we? If you come to offer Doman chains in place of Galleon ones, then I'm afraid you've wasted a trip. And what fine subjects you would make. With your fleet at our disposal, our restoration efforts would be hastened tenfold. Oh, alright, is it? No, not quite. I remember something that was happening was that we were working with the company to help transport goods back and forth.
Yes.
If you remember with the Dominant thing. But I don't think that's what this is about.
I think it may be.
But there are more important things happening right now.
There are, but they don't.
Like Azula escaped. Okay, well let's go and let's talk some trade. Let's talk some trade regulations between ourselves and the Grand Company, or the Pirate Company, because we need to figure out the export of sushi. It's like okay, yes, we need some sparkling tuna to come in.
Ah, the tuna.
Yes. What fine subjects you would make. With your fleet at our disposal, our restoration efforts would be hastened tenfold. But let us speak seriously. I stand before you not to demand your fealty, but to request your aid once more. Your canoes.
Hey, what's the aid?
Your canoes hearken to me.
That part?
Hearken to me, canoes. Yes.
The serious words.
Mayhap you are confused. Doma's liberation was but a means to an end. We aided you only to save ourselves. Now we have no such incentive. We have sworn no oath to you, and will not come running like hounds at their master's whistle. And I would not presume to treat you thus. I come to petition your corporation as an ally of equal standing. Equal standing, you say? Seems a bit lopsided to me. Where's the profit for us in all of this?
Profit? Must you always think in such short-sighted terms? Have you ever heard of doing the right thing?
You heard of pirates, little miss? Fine, we're simple souls. Right. You pay our tithe, you sail in peace. Deny us our due and we take it by force. We'll pull you out of the water and we'll see you drowning. If we see you drowning, but we are not in the business of doing something for nothing. That's fine.
Why is Alice so childish suddenly?
Yeah.
She's been better than this.
Calm yourself, Mistress Alice. We did not come here to moralize, we came here to talk. And there is much to talk. According to records recovered after liberation, relatives of your Doman-born brethren were among those conscripted into the Imperial Army. And as you may be aware, we recently negotiated the return of said conscripts. Many, alas, will arrive to find no families waiting for them, no homes to grant them shelter. I would ask that you offer them a place in the Confederacy. You would not be rescuing strangers, but welcoming brothers and sisters into your ranks. And has not the Confederacy been in need of new recruits? What? What are we discussing right now?
Basically, some of the Domans have joined the Confederacy since then, I guess, and they want them to send the families of those Domans to the Confederacy instead of Doma.
Is there a reason for that? Is there
trade?
Yeah. So we're just are we really just trading people right now? Is that what's?
Yes. Yes, we are.
I feel like we were going to, you know, offer the benefits and bonuses of having an alliance and how that will benefit the Confederacy.
No, the benefit is you get people.
Like, this is weird, right? It's like you're negotiating prisoners to come to you, and you're like, some of these prisoners, they don't have family with us anymore. They're dead. These are just spare people. We don't want them, actually. Let's trade them for yeah, well, let's just trade them for some canoes. It's like, what? Like, what's happening right now? What? Shouldn't they be given the choice if they want to go to the Confederacy or if they want to go to Doma?
Yeah, they probably should give them a choice. You're right.
Well, that's just a normal thing to do. You don't ask them. We're literally just we got some spare people back here, right? We got how many? Let's say, how many do we have? Like, what, 12 and a half?
Exactly, 45.
45 and a half. Okay, there's like a guy with like one leg. Okay, yeah. We'll give him to it at a discount. But wait, we got a good deal. Like, what are we talking about right now? Like, what's happening? Like, what? How many canoes can 45 and a half people give us?
Well, how much do they weigh? Because we can measure their weight in canoes.
Yeah. Set up some scales, right? We'll do some calculations. Which mass of people are we talking about? No funny business. Don't like give them a big meal before you weigh them. Like, what is this conversation? You seem well informed of our affairs, Lord Hien. The losses we suffered at the Gallian hands are no secret, but since we drove them out of Doma, the Ruby Sea has come alive with traders and travelers. So many vessels attacked, so few pirates attacked. Like, the conversation right now should be, hey, we're getting a bunch of prisoners from the war. They're coming back to us, and some of them used to be pirates. They're your people. We'll give them back to you. Like, that makes more sense than whatever the fuck we're talking about. Like, what are we talking about right now?
The conscripts wouldn't be pirates, though.
Well, they would be ex-pirates. I don't think the Empire care. I'm sure they did take some pirates. Yes.
Maybe.
Remember, they were having conflicts with the Confederacy. They literally just conducted a mission where they attacked the Confederacy island.
Listen, what I mean is that they wouldn't be conscripts. They could be like prisoners, but they wouldn't be conscripts.
They could be conscripts.
They could be.
Yeah, they could be.
Unlikely.
Why not? You just write it. I mean, what are you talking about? Just write it that they were.
Okay.
There's nothing stopping you. That's why this conversation. That's what this conversation should be, right? Hey, we're getting some of your people. Hey, look.
Yeah, no, that would make sense.
Hey, we got a shipment of like 100 guys, right? And in the container, we were actually like going through them, and we found out that some of them used to be pirates. They used to be the part of the Confederacy. Used to be Confederacy people. You want them back?
Yeah, that would make more sense.
You want them back? Otherwise, we'll ship them back to Doma. Like, if you don't want them, it's fine. We'll find out. We'll slot them in. Like, what? Like, doesn't that make more sense? Or whatever this is? Yeah, just give us some people. We could do some more pirates. Do they want to be pirates? These people?
Yeah, just make them pirates. Like what?
They're like women and children mixed into this, and they're like, no, yeah. We'll take them. We don't discriminate. It's fine. Teach them how to ride a canoe.
Ride a canoe and take tax.
Yeah. Losses we suffered at the Gallian hands are no secrets, but since we drove them out of Doma, the Ruby Sea has come alive with traders and travelers. So many vessels attacked, so few pirates attacked them. We could do with some more hands on deck, and doubly so if they're familiar with the inner workings of the Empire. Alright. 30.75. Excuse me? Yeah.
You heard me.
Very well.
No, but in all seriousness, like, the pirates probably wouldn't be bothered by this.
No, it's just this. No. This conversation, the pirates wouldn't be bothered with it. It's just it shouldn't be happening to begin with. What are you talking about? Like, I'm sure the pirates deal in slavery. Like, it's a thing.
Yeah, like slavery, but they would probably like just get people, like, whatever.
Yeah, it's not. It's just this conversation shouldn't be happening the way that it is. Very well. The Confederacy agrees to your request. You will have your ship. But before that, you must do something for me. The vessel I have in mind was damaged during your battle with the Empire. Though we have mended her, she has yet to be declared seaworthy. The OSHA. The safety standards on the ship. We need you to bribe the safety inspector. Give him like 2 of your people, and that should be good. Give him 2 domens. 2.5 if you want. Grease up those wheels. Okay. She's sound enough down below, but when you load her up with conscript. Okay. Yeah, when you load this baby up with some of them people, like, it's just she starts making noise, you know? It's not good. It scares them. They say that when people get scared, like, yeah, it ruins them. Okay. And the woodline rises. Those upper planks had best be free of cracks. Assuming you want your people to stay dry, yeah, we don't want wet humans trafficked around. Like, we want to keep them dry. We don't want like mold to start growing on them or anything like that. Okay. So I just put some sand down there. Some salt to like suck out the moisture.
The fuck?
God. Look, what is this conversation that's happening right now? I don't even know. Assuming you want your people to stay dry, you'll do me the favor of swimming around the hole to check for weaknesses. That is, if Dom and Lords are not adverse to getting their robes wet.
Why not take off the robes? Could just take them off.
Not this Dom and Lord. If we each inspect a third of the ship, it shall be done in a trice. Ah, that's the spirit. The ship is moored at Quickscape Pier. Our apprentice shipwright will be on deck to hear your report. Look for a lad named Ihanshi.
And I thought I had a knack for parleying with pirates. For the record, my previous attempt was an unmitigating success, and yes, I should have quit while I was ahead. It was a very weird emote, I would say.
That was weird. It's like, wait a minute. If we're gonna get like 30.5 people, we don't have houses for them.
Or food.
Oh no. We got scammed. Well. I thought the rumors were exaggerated, but the young lord lives up to his reputation. I appreciate that he deals in human trafficking. Okay.
It's like, he would make a fine pirate.
Fine pirate. Young lad, if you ever come across some more people, let us know. We'll bargain for you. Okay. Okay, we went in the wrong direction. Ship, right? Hanshi. Aye, that's me. Captain said someone would be coming to inspect the hull. You haven't finished already, have you? Let's jump in.
Yeah. Oh, hello again.
Ah, Alisae's over here. Alright, what does he say? The water is so invigorating. I have not swum in the Ruby Sea since. But should be concentrating on the task at hand. Let's see.
For once, I'm actually glad Yugiri isn't here. I doubt she would have taken kindly to Pirate inviting Hien to inspect his hull.
Over here, there's a suspicious plank.
It's very sus.
Yes. A Mogas. The one over here.
What are we even doing with our hands?
Punch. Aye, I'm the shipwright. The apprentice shipwright. Did you find anything that might need our attention?
The section I inspected seemed solid.
On the port side near the bow, you say? Alright, I'll have a look and see what I can do. My apologies. Seem to have lagged behind. I could float in that gentle sea all day. Otherwise, I'm happy to report no visible cracking or holes in my section of the hull. You're Lord Hien. The captain sent you to inspect the hull? Kami, have mercy. Forgive us this discourtesy, my lord. This is quite alright. In fact, I rather enjoyed it. Take it, you are of Doma? Yes, my lord. The Imperials took my father away after the uprising. I had nowhere else to turn. The Confederacy became my family. But someone told me they're releasing the conscripts now. Maybe my father will be among them. Not that I can go back. There's no leaving once you've joined. Oh. How fares our lady? She's seaworthy. Captain, we found a small crack in the port side. We'll have it fixed before you know it. Where's that duct tape? Ah. See, you've met the boy. Did he tell you a story? He babbles when he is nervous. Should his father be among the conscripts, as he hopes, I mean to give him the choice to leave this life. If he so chooses, I expect you to see they are provided for. It's like, that wasn't a part of the deal. I wanted to get rid of these people.
Yeah, like exactly. Like that was like he's talking about them giving them a choice.
See, why is Rasho acting more rationally, than Hien?
Because he's Rasho.
I've heard that those who join the Confederacy forswear all ties with kin and homeland. Is that oath so easily put aside? If I allow it. So as leader, you can kind of like, pick and choose. And have to sell people. It's kind of weird that you're doing that, by the way, Hien. It's sure.
Oof.
I see him in the land. I was 25 years ago. You say the words, you mean them. But the yearning for home still lingers. My family is long dead, and I know this life is my lot. But he has scarce dipped his toes with us. If there is a life for him in Doma, he should have the chance to live it. Well said. The Empire's conquest has uprooted many and more, and be it in Yanxia or out on the Ruby Sea. We have a duty to ensure that Ihanashi and others like him are free to dwell where they desire. Which is why I'm selling people. Okay. Then the matter is settled. I'll make preparations to cast off.
Oh yeah, we needed the ship for the people because we don't have means to transport all these people that we are getting.
We're selling these people for a ship. Yes. How many people is a ship worth?
Like 200 or something. Like I think we're getting 200 conscripts.
Yeah, we're not selling all of them though. We're keeping some, right?
Jesus. I don't know.
Well, my friends, seems we have our ship. Let us return to the Enclave.
Hey, who are you? Why is there an aura here? Question mark?
We should just swam up. I'm gonna be happy. Yabby. Ah. Get back. Okay. Let's head in. Okay, let's say.
Alfino tells me they had little trouble finding a suitable route out of the castrum, but he won't say much more than that. If I didn't know better, I'd think he was hiding something. I can't imagine what.
Okay, Alfie. The castrum was deserted. Quite deserted. All right. If you remember, they were instructed to search the castrum because there were like some suspicious barrels there, so like maybe like some explosives or something. Like they didn't know what, but like there was something weird about what they were doing, and then they sent guys to. They sent Yugiri specifically to, I think, to investigate.
I think it was Yugiri with Alfino.
Yeah, the castrum was deserted. Quite deserted. It was a simple matter to plot the surest path out. Hence our swiftness.
Alfie staggering is weird. We found the castrum's tower unoccupied, and betraying no signs of recent activity. Only shadows and echoes awaited us there. Alfino seemed oddly reluctant to linger, but I saw naught to concern us.
Okay. Jens.
Did he see a ghost?
True. The callback. Seems Yugiri and Alfino completed their task before us. They have been waiting.
We scouted the structure and determined the swiftest path to safety. In the event of hostilities, we will lead the conscripts outside with all possible haste.
From there, the Confederacy has pledged a ship to ferry us across the one river. Now we have but to attend the exchange, and pray to the Kami these precautions were unnecessary. And wait.
This one.
I'm gonna switch to Reaper for this because I'm assuming it's gonna be a fight. Okay. How to say?
They have the same dialogue.
Okay. Hien is ready to proceed with the prisoner exchange. Hold on. Okay. Are you ready, Cooper? Hello, Saka. Hello. Good to see you. Guys are school bullies.
People keep bullying Alfie, okay?
True. But Alfino, he did say that he was afraid of ghosts. You know, that was the whole weird questline portion of the questline.
Yeah, and Yugiri said that like you could like hear echoes and stuff, so maybe he just got startled. Yeah.
Okay, Cooper. So obviously, something has to happen, right? In the prisoner exchange. Yeah. What is your prediction?
See, that's the thing. After the report, I don't know. Because before the report, I thought like, oh, they just like fade crystals and there will be like a primal or something there. Like I didn't expect it to be like a bomb or something. Because like a primal appearing there would like ruin their negotiations because they were supposed to like keep the primal threat in check. But if Yugiri and Alfino said that there was nothing there, then I don't know. What do you think?
So, I think we're probably gonna have to. They wouldn't have this much setup without us actually successfully saving some prisoners. So I think we're going to successfully save some prisoners. Initially, I thought that because Azula is now with them, that Azula will show up.
They're just gonna stop.
No, that Azula will show up and then she'll kill the prisoners.
Okay.
That's what I thought initially, but because we went through all the effort to get a ship and to secure the path and to secure all the stuff, then I feel like I feel like that has to play in. So I feel like we have to save some prisoners. But maybe Azula still kill some. Maybe she still kills some. Or maybe, as you said, crystals will deliver to the Red Kojin, and the Red Kojin will summon their primal, and because they have some rapport with Azula, like that, she's able to make that happen, and that disrupts things, I guess.
Because again, like that would be the best case scenario for the Galleons, because they're like, oh look, you know, they didn't hold their end of the bargain, so why should we, kind of thing.
Yeah, and maybe Azula helps with that. Maybe that was part of the plan of No. I was gonna say maybe that was part of the plan of Zuko, is that because Azula has, again, some history with the Kojin, that she's able to orchestrate that. But if you remember, Zuko already did that. Remember they orchestrated that the Kojin would attack us on the road when we went on the thing. So like that already happened anyway. So they didn't need Azula for that. So so I feel like she's gonna kill someone. Like she's gonna. I feel like she's gonna torture some prisoners. Like.
Probably. Okay. I would assume that like they will like line them up and like try to kill them in front of him, maybe to like, and then we prove to him that he should like submit. Yeah, and then maybe like we interfere and we save them or something. Like I feel, something like that. I would imagine. We'll see. Maybe they did deliver crystals to the Red Kojin, because we still have to do the extreme version of that. That hasn't happened yet. So. Yeah, and also they said that like there was nothing in the base right now, so maybe the crystals are just gone. While we were putting our contingency plans in place, I left Akuro in charge of organizing transport for the Imperial prisoners. I asked the Wolfman. Yes. He will see they arrive at the appointed hour, leaving us free to rendezvous with our Confederate allies. Come, they will await us at the riverbank, not far from the castrum. If it is that they delivered crystals to the Red Kojin, I would have preferred it if Alphino and if Alphino and Yugiri were somewhat aware, and there was like a bit of a sign of that, and they could like try to piece it together. But let's see. I feel like Alphino has enough experience that if that was the case, he would just know, right? Yeah. And he would tell us. That's the thing, like, he wouldn't like hide the fact from us. Yeah. Hello, Sokka. We're doing MSQ today. MSQ. We're progressing the storage. Getting there. Jubilation. Sokka is very happy. Yes. We will finish. One day we will get to Endgame. No, one day we'll get to Endwalker. That's a better way of putting it. That's true. Was this guy always there? Which guy? I thought Hakuro was the only Wolfman, but now there's this one? Or was this one always here as well? No, there were more. Okay. This guy was here for a while now. Okay. Someone should really fix these bars. Yeah, I don't know. They're all using it. Well, then make it a proper entrance. Like what? No. Something like cut themselves on that. You get tetanus. Likewise, I can't help but see the Stargate. Yeah, Stargate. We repaired the ship. We got the canoes. We got him. We got him. Let's go. That's really not a big ship, I will say. Again. Look at this. We have this ship that we repaired and these two boats to ferry people over. Yeah, we got the canoes. How many people do you think that boat fits? 10.5. Like 30? 50 max? No, you can look, they all stand? Yeah, in the hull you can like stack them like horizontally or something, and like you can
you can Tetris it. You can
okay,
Tetris them in the hole. That's fine.
Look, I am talking seriously. I am talking seriously because, again, like this being this side, even though I know this is just a prisoner exchange, but this once again just makes Doma look very small.
It does. No, unironically, yes. I agree. Like, it's a prisoner exchange after like a big war like this has taken how many years? Like, we should be talking like hundreds, if not like 1,000, like maybe more than that when it comes to prisoners. This does make it look like, all right, we're getting like 20 people, right? Like, yeah,
which again, it feels like this is not like the country of Doma trading. This is like the village of Doma trading.
But that's just been an issue the entire expansion. Like, the scale for Doma has been poorly done. Like, it's just, I say. But I think you can stack in like maybe like 40 people in there. Like,
it's just going. No matter what Asahi throws at us, we cannot let that monster have his way.
Would that we had some hints as to the ambassador's intentions. What do you mean? What could he be thinking?
We don't know what his goal is. We don't know what his goal is.
No, we do know what the goal is. What are you talking about? It's like he said it to us and we told Hien. Like, the intention is clearly for negotiations to fail. Right, he wants us to. No, sure, but like the general intention is there that he wants the negotiation to fail. So then, as like a strategist and as a leader, you want to be thinking of how would it fail? Like your assumption is the obvious one, is that they would want to secretly like help the Red Kojin succeed in what they're doing, because technically that would break our agreement, that would break our peace deal, right? So like that's like the obvious thing that you would think about when it comes to like something to be concerned about and something to be thinking about and something to actively like look out for and to investigate, stuff like that. Like that's like you have a general idea. So like
Right. Do you think we will attend the exchange and then we're like, oh, hold on, there's a primal in the Kojin city, and we just get sent off and never see what happens?
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
No. Nah. Had we not prepared for the worst, I would be wary of going through with this at all.
My only concern is the safe return of our people. This is what my lord wishes, and that is what shall be done.
Yeah. The tower rather spoils the view across the river, does it not? I concede we might perhaps have chosen a less ominous place to conduct the exchange. The rational. Speak unto us your wisdom. Do not worry about the ship. It'll be where it needs to be, and with Tansui at the helm. See, I can rely on Mr. Anshono. Federate skipper. Parties assembled then. I am ready for what lies ahead, I trust. Lest there be any confusion, though, the tower across the water is to be the scene of the exchange. That and whatever else Asahi has planned. But regardless of the ambassador's intentions, we will bring our people home. Yugiri, you are to evacuate the conscripts at the first sign of trouble. Hold on, before we continue. This would have been a really cool... Like, they're already kind of doing it. This would have been a really cool collaboration. Like give Hien and the Doman people, give them some credit when it comes to preparing for stuff. Like, I love the idea of reuniting the different forces of the region that worked together to free the region, to work on the prisoner exchange. It's difficult because when it comes to those at the Azim step, because they were so isolationist, they never got anyone anyone abducted. It would have been nice if maybe it happened at the very end. Because if you remember, like, eventually the Empire did go up north, and the Brute was there. Remember, the Brute was there, and then I think we fought him, and then they left. But if you're kind of like thinking of things ahead of time, and if you're setting the scene and setting the stage, if in that moment they had arrived but they had left, but they had successfully taken some people. One, it would have given more motivation for the Order at the Asm Step to get involved, but two, it would lead into this moment where you can also have them help out. And I would love the idea of having the Order groups. And remember how last time they came in and they dealt with like the airships, like when we were assaulting the castle. If we have them on standby with their drakes, with their no, they're not drakes, but with their mounts. And we have them there, and their purpose would be to, if shit goes down, you make sure that they can't escape by shooting down their air support and their ships to keep them grounded. Well, because what that means is that, hey, they come in with the like prisoners, and then we can like make sure that they're, I don't know, just like have some kind of organized like setup here in case.
But even before that, the fact that they're flying, they can like keep an eye on what's happening.
Exactly. They'll be like on patrol. Yeah, they'll be scouting, like to make sure, like, and even if nothing happens, even if they don't have to do anything, like just the idea of having them work together here again, as we wrap up the story, it's nice. It's just a nice way, story-wise, to like wrap up this story that's being had here. And they're kind of doing it because they're involving the Confederacy. True. It'd be nice if the Outer were involved too, you know, because those are the three groups that helped, right?
See, what should happen? The Kojin should ferry us over to the ship.
True, on their backs.
That happened before.
True. Oh no, yeah, or have the Kojin get involved as well, and have them like, you know, just like swimming under the sea, you know, just to make sure that they're on patrol to make sure the red Kojin don't show up or something like that.
Yeah. Like the blue Kojin should do their part to like in controlling the red Kojin.
Yeah. Hello, Alex. Hello. But regardless of the ambassador's intentions, we will bring back our people home. Yugiri, you are to evacuate the conscripts at the first sign of trouble.
Yes, my lord.
We, in the meanwhile, shall cover their escape, and lend what support we can. Your ship awaits you at the Castrom's loading docks. She will see you safely home. Then all stand ready to play their parts. Come, let us be about it. Ravax. Yo. Music playing. Give us some voice acting.
What did I do?
No shot.
What?
I have to definitely see.
At last, the hour has come. The conclusion to these negotiations will mark a new beginning for Dorma and the Empire. A first step on the road to peaceful coexistence.
So for a moment there, if you remember, in the wide shot, they showed these like coffins, like these boxes. For a moment there, because we have seen that the Empire, they actually hold prisoners in these like basically boxes, these little holding cells. We saw that in Alamigo. For a moment, I was like, no shot that they like, that's how we're getting our prisoners. Just gonna get a shipment of boxes. No shot.
Indeed. We are ready to proceed with the exchange when you are. Forgive my curiosity, Ambassador, but is there a purpose to these containers you bring with you?
Did I call it? Is that where are the people inside them?
Oh, the supply crates. They are filled with materials we hoped might be of use in Dorma's restoration. I meant to gift them to you at our last meeting, but we had so much else to discuss.
How very generous. I confess I had not expected such compassion. Welcome though it is. But then I was also surprised by the news that one of our captives had delivered herself into your custody ahead of time. A minor discrepancy I shall overlook in the spirit of the occasion.
I like this. That's just nice. It's nice. It's classy.
Are you perhaps referring to me, Lord Hien?
So if you remember, my prediction was that she shows up to kill some prisoners. That's what we'll see. We'll see. Oh, she's got her pipe back.
Yotsuyu.
Orphan of the Nairi, widow of Sashihai, and acting Viceroy of Dorma. You and your people are mine to govern, mine to punish.
Are they gonna have her kill the prisoners? Are they gonna go through with it?
Well, well. It would seem your shattered mind is mended. As per our agreement with the ambassador, you are free to return with him to the Empire.
No, we're staying stoic.
Your authority as acting viceroy, however, is no longer recognized here.
My position is not for you to decide, little lordling. All who resist the rule of the Empire must be purged. Such was the order given to me by Lord Xenos himself.
It was also stripped from you when you failed.
I will reign here in this putrid, pestilent swamp until the last of you has been broken.
Ah, they needed the shot of like a crown in the background. They needed that. I think they were trying to emulate it here.
This land shall know no dawn. I will spew forth darkness and drown all in eternal night. And high above you I shall shine, uncaring, cold and distant as the moon.
She's gonna turn into the moon? Okay, crystals, yeah. We thought the crystals were for the Kojin. Is she gonna turn into a primal? No shot. No shot.
What has she done?
She's turning into the moon. She's literally Final Fantasy Sailor Moon. Is that happening right now?
Oh gods, this is a summoning.
Cue transformation sequence. It's Sailor Moon. No shot. Moon prism power. No shot. This is clownery. This is what this is. I'm glad that she's still smoking as a primal.
A Dorman citizen has called forth an icon in direct violation of our primary agreement. The negotiations have failed. Abandon the captives and make preparations to withdraw.
Ah, no, this is weak. So if you remember, we were theorizing what were the crystals going to be for? And our theory was, okay, they're going to use crystals and they're going to give them in secret to the Red Kojin, and then if the Red Kojin can summon a primal, then that breaks their agreement. Here, they got there, but in a different way. They're like, hey, primal was summoned, but they got Azula to be the primal, but she was already given like to the Empire. So like this, like in the previous scenario that we had envisioned, this dialogue here, you can, even though obviously it's in bad faith, obviously, but like you can sell it, right? You can sell it like on paper, like it's you can, even if it's in bad faith, like you can still like rationalize. I don't know if I should say rationalize it, but like politically, like you can get away with something like that. But this is just clownery. Oh no, a Doman citizen. It's like, what? No, she remember technically she left Doma. Technically she was under his care, and she's not Doman. Like you could have sold this a little bit better, to make it look like a little bit more like politically strategic. Maybe that's a better way of putting it.
But Ambassador, disobey me, Pilus, and you disobey the Emperor. Make preparations to withdraw now.
I thought I was gonna backhand him. Like, what was that? What was that motion? Just damn. Pilus, be careful, Pappy.
As you command.
Just pimp slapped him.
My lord, you must fall back.
Maybe that's the plan after all. Smoking as a primal, so she has less chance for consequence. That's good. I was gonna say, I'm glad when she morphed into a primal, she still had her smoking stick. Yes, she still has. She can still smoke.
You ask me to run?
Nah, yeah, we can handle it. Leave it to me. Leave it to me. We are primal slayers.
Against such a foe, I would be more hindrance than help. The field is yours. We will withdraw, but not without our countrymen. I want every soul accounted for. Every soul.
We'll talk about it. Personally, I don't like it's very what's what I'm looking for? It's very it's such a convenience here that that's clearly Zuko was in bad faith coming into these negotiations, and they turned his sister into a primal to fight us. But isn't it such a convenient, or isn't it so convenient that that we're still gonna get the prisoners? Like what? Like they shouldn't even be here, right? Like if the plan was to screw us over, why are they even here? Why are we even getting them? We shouldn't, really.
My lord.
Oh, thank God they still dropped off all the prisoners.
You would not flee. I see now the strength which flows from that baleful light of yours. But I am become Skryoni, goddess of the moon and divinity of night. What power can compare to such celestial majesty? I shall plunge all I despise into darkness. And within that black abyss, even your light shall flicker and fail. Come, let us cast the stalks and look upon the fate of Doma. I see a future in which the sun sets on this wretched land. Once and for all!
Are we fighting? No, okay. Cash and fluidness.
Wait, hello there. Why is my enthusiasm so funny?
How did you enjoy this cinematic experience?
I mean, that's pretty much what I said, wasn't it?
Kind of.
I just thought they would drag Ravana to do it, but I guess they don't have to anymore. I will say something. This is one of these cases where the silent protagonist thing bothers me. Because the moment I see the chest opening and crystals are in there, I'm like, everybody run. You cannot, you cannot fight this. Whatever they're doing, you're out of the picture. I would just tell them to run that moment. Because I'm the only one with Echo around. So that part was like, you know, once again the part where the silent protagonist is kind of annoying. Yeah, what did you think?
The moment she lifted up the medallion, I was like, are we going full Sailor Moon with this? And they did. They went full Sailor Moon. Yeah.
True, I mean Sailor Moon, literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Full Sailor Moon with it.
Also, I would like to point out that she has bunny ears.
She does, for some reason. It's weird.
No, you know why?
Oh,
because
right.
of the rabbits on the moon.
Because of the rabbits, yeah. Rabbits on the moon.
Yeah.
True. So I said it during the cutscene itself. I think this is a worse version of what we theorized, right? Like I do think that like, because you can sell the idea, even if it's in bad faith, you can sell the idea of, like, politically of Zuko being like, oh, you know, the Red Kojin, they successfully summoned their primal, you know, our agreement is broken, right? Like that happened under your watch. You said that wouldn't happen. That was one of the big things that was like that was trying to keep this peace deal together, and you failed in doing so, right? Like,
yeah, I thought that was the idea.
Yeah. And technically they got there, but a different way, because instead of having the Red Kojin, who they were already established, they suddenly had Azula become a primal instead, which I feel like is just a really worse way to write the character. Like if you remember, like I was excited to see what they were going to do with Azula and with her brother, right?
Yeah, their relationship. Right?
She just killed her parents. She didn't kill her brother. She died. Again, I thought that she was just gonna come out, and as soon as she showed up, I was like, "Yo, are they just gonna have her kill the prisoners? Like, let's go. Are we just gonna do this?"
Yeah, that's what I thought would happen originally.
Yeah.
But no, I will be honest. When she was having her whole monologue, like that's another part where I was like, "Is she done yet? Is she finished?" I would like look at us like, "Is she gonna keep talking?" Because she like just kept going.
Yeah, like but like. Her character is more interesting without being turned into a primal. The problem with turning her into a primal means that like now she's just some mindless monster, and now we're just gonna kill her and that's it. Like, like her trying to deal with her as a character and having Gosetsu have to deal with that. Like, to me is more interesting, right? Like in my mind, like if she did, you know, kill people and kill the prisoners and escape, like the idea of Gosetsu coming out of retirement, and he's one of the reasons why technically their lives would be on, like in his hands. Right? Yeah, it'd be his fault. He'd have to make up for that. He would have to, right? Like, and his confrontation of Azula, like that's a little more interesting than whatever the hell this is, right? Because my assumption is that, I mean, I was gonna say my assumption is that we're gonna kill her. At the same time, there's gonna be an extreme version, but I guess it could be like a minstrel's ballad, I suppose, so they can just. So I guess technically she. But I don't know. The idea of us killing her here like this, I mean, like, I feel like there was a lot more that you could have done with the character. Yeah.
I agree. Because it's like, oh look, we brought her back. Now she's gone. Like it's, yeah.
Yeah,
they're killing that story before it begins.
Yeah, it's like what was the point of bringing her back to life if you're just gonna kill her again like this? I would assume that she would die anyway, but like I feel like you would want her death and her encounter and everything to be a little bit more emotionally impactful to some of the other characters, especially now. Like it has to be with Gosetsu, but even not just even Gosetsu, but with like the Domin people as well. Like I don't know if this is like this doesn't feel satisfying, especially with like how awful she is as a character, right? Like it's like she is Hitler, and like I feel like
I would say I would argue that it's even worse than that because she's also just annoying. Like,
sure.
Just as a person, like regardless of what she's done, like like every time she speaks, I'm like just rolling my eyes.
Sure. Like you can argue that they did a poor job when it comes to her personality and stuff, because I mean we speak about this all the time. She would be more interesting if she was smarter. Like if she was like a more cunning.
Yes.
Like cunning is what she's lacking. She's not a cunning character, unfortunately. She's just evil to be evil. She
should be.
Yeah. Like I agree. She would be so much more interesting if she was like a smart, like cunning individual, which I know that, like, for example, I think Soko was talking bad about her brother. I would say her brother has that up on her. Like, her brother is a more interesting character because of that. That's why we gravitate more towards her brother, because he actually, like, has a brain. Like, more so than she does, unfortunately.
Yeah, he's planning. He's planning things instead of just like, haha, I'm just gonna beat you up.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
yeah, exactly. Which is a shame. Like, that's like on the writers.
She's just purely fueled by hatred. There's no like foresight there.
Yeah, I mean the writers they chose to make her that way. They chose that she.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. That's the character she portrays. That like it's just pure like spite and emotion instead of like any sort of like actual like foresight.
Yeah. Which again I feel like you could do so much more here. Like what I want, and we might still get it. I want Gosetsu to recognize that he fucked up. That's what I want. Because I don't like what happened there. I just don't like that he was like babying her and all this stuff. Like we were talking about it as well. Like the idea that like she could get her memory back, but they were like delusional. They just didn't want to like think about that reality.
Again, I will repeat what I said before, that like I think it's fine of them to take care of her and like not execute her in her current state.
Yeah.
But you should be containing her. Like she shouldn't be just walking free.
Yeah. Like I want more of Gosetsu, and I want him to be involved in whatever is about to happen. I'm afraid that they're just not going to do it now, right? I'm just afraid that we're just going to kill her. That's it, and it's over. It doesn't feel satisfying. None of this feels satisfying right now. Like Also, the quick side tangent, which was very convenient, is that apparently even though they showed up and they had no intention of actually fulfilling their end of the bargain, they still brought their prisoners anyway, and we're going to get them anyway.
Yeah.
That was
apparently.
that was that annoyed me. Not gonna lie. Clown show.
But that's the thing. I said it before that like we're never gonna actually see the conscripts.
No, that's fine.
That's gonna be done off screen.
That's fine. That's fine. I just thought it would be like something more important that we could work towards.
I guess time to beat her up, because that's what she had. Again, I would say this is like very. I would say this is referencing the big guy. You know how they turned him into like a machine abomination something, and like now they turned her into a primal.
Kind of. Well, that's the other thing. Sorry, that's the other thing that was really weird to me, is that like suddenly she's a primal. It's like, what? Like, as in, isn't that what the Empire is strictly against? But also, not just that, but you can't just be a primal. Like there needs to be.
Isael did.
No, but she didn't just be a primal. Like she was crazy, but she also had a bunch of followers. Remember, like it's the will of many. You need that, like that strong will of like a fuck ton of people to be able to will something like that into existence. Which is why Isael had a massive cult of followers. That's an important factor. That's how this has been set up for us. This would make more sense No, not even. Like how do you properly write this? How do you make her?
She is just so hateful that her own hate fuels her primal.
But I don't believe that. Like, sorry.
Also, I'm pretty sure we were told we were like told before that you can make a primal just as one person, but it's not like a big primal. It's like a small one. I think that happened in the story somewhere.
I think it did, but did it?
Wasn't that in the Mandeville questline actually? Now that I think about, it wasn't
in the Mandeville questline. Yes, it was the chicken. It was the anchor.
Chicken, the primal.
Yeah. Specifically, it was the chicken. It was his will that willed the chicken primal into existence. That is true. Yeah. There's precedent,
so it's possible.
No, but like that's like a joke questline. Like I don't think we have to take that seriously.
Look. It's in the universe, is what I'm saying.
Well, if that was true, then they didn't need all those people to like blow up the cache room at the start of the expansion. They could have done that with one person, or like, you know, like or summon the Raug or what's Shinru, whatever.
See, what I thought would happen was that they bring the conscripts to the place, they bring the crystals to the place, and then she becomes a primal and like assimilates the conscripts as thralls. Even if they don't worship her, like she can still take their love power.
No, you know what would have been crazy is no, yeah, I like the idea of using the conscripts like that, like in a different way. I would have them have they set up a Domin deity? I don't think they have, right? Like for
maybe
for Alamigo they did.
Maybe I think Shinryu might be the Domin deity, but it's not a primal because they stole Shinryu.
They did, but they can unsteal it. But I think that's what I would do. I think you have the Domin conscripts. You line them up, and then have her inflict terror on them, and make them will like a savior into existence, right? Like that's what you do. If you remember, that's what happened at the beginning of the expansion when they blew up the cache room. Remember, in their despair, they were all wishing for salvation, and then that's how. But
they were wishing specifically for Raug, and I feel like it has to be a specific deity.
It does. Yeah, it does. That's what I mean. They were wishing for Raug. Here you can have them wish for Shinru, right? And sure, they're wishing for Shinru, but just like Ysayle was able to take the form of who the people were wishing for, which was Shiva, right? Like they weren't wishing for her; they were wishing for Shiva, and she was able to take advantage of that and turn into Shiva. Here, have them wish for Shinru, and then have her take the form of Shinru, and then take advantage
of. But then she cannot be the moon.
Fuck the moon. Huh? You know?
No, this was very important to her.
No, it wasn't. What's important about the moon to her? What does the moon have to do with her?
She likes the moon.
She just likes the moon. She just likes it.
Yeah.
She just likes the moon.
She was like, okay, you can turn me into a primal, but I have to be pretty.
Look, if they like, you can be a Shinru pretty god. Like you can just fucking have some artists and you can do it. If they really want to do the moon motif, then just write it that suddenly the Domins there's like a moon god that they worship and that they wish to whenever they're like in trouble in times of despair, and then have that tie into it. That'd be nice.
It would be interesting.
It'd be more interesting than this. Than her just flipping up the medallion and just turning it. Like... The problem here is that this makes it look like anyone can do anything. As in like, because I didn't get the strong feeling that she wanted to become this, right?
No, I think what Soko is saying is right. We're like, it's specifically the relic that enables her to do that, and that would be related to what Empire is already doing because Xenos was able to merge with a primal. So I would assume that this is like the next step of their research, essentially.
Well, even if that's the case, I would still say that having the prisoners wish for salvation and having her use that would be better than what we saw here.
I agree it would be better if not for like it would just make it more dramatic.
Yeah, it would. You know? If
it was the prisoners themselves like unwillingly contributing to what is happening.
Yeah. I think that would have been better. It's a shame. Okay.
And again, you can write it that way, where that, like, even though they were, as you said, they would be like wishing for Shinyo or something. Like, you can have the relic, like, you know, capture the energy that was sent somewhere else.
You can. You know what? Kira, with the power of writing, you can do that. It's crazy.
No, but I'm saying that, like,
with some good writing, you can do that. Yes.
Look, now what I'm saying is that it would fit in what the Empire is already doing, what they have been already experimenting with.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be like, you know, surprising for them to have that kind of technology.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, I mean, literally, like they were like trying to like re-enable Ultima, which was like consuming other primals. So like they already have like the precedent of like researching that kind of technology.
Yeah. Okay. Soko, would you help us kill Azula? Let's see. A Kojin relic, a hidden trove of crystals. Through these tools of ritual summoning, the restored Yotsuyu is reborn as Tsuyukomi. A divinity of night. So it even explains here it's a Kojin relic, apparently.
That makes it even worse, though. Why Kojin relic? That would be Ravana then.
It would
they should have just left it as ambiguous. Why is Kojin?
Yeah.
God damn it.
It did, yeah. So I guess this means the Kojin worship the moon? If the Kojin had the relic?
No, apparently it has nothing to do with anything, because no, they should just left the relic ambiguous. They shouldn't have said where it
I know
came
they
from.
should have, but they didn't. They say it's apparently it's a Kojin relic. So it's
which
Kojin now.
Which fuels your fear, like anyone can be anything because it doesn't matter.
Well, no, like the relic was moon shaped, but like I guess what I'm saying is that apparently I guess the Kojin worship the moon. This is the first time we hear about that. It is. They just made it up. But like you can spin it, you know. But they should have set up ahead of time where like because the moon controls the tide of the sea and they're in the sea, like you can write that they worship the moon. That's fine. I mean you can write that anyone worships the moon. Like it's the moon.
Yeah, but they didn't.
Yeah. Divinity of Night and Lady of the Moon.
See, I would be more accepting if they said that this was just something that was in the Kojin vault. Because we know that they gathered trinkets, so it doesn't necessarily have to be like a Kojin deity, but just one of the trinkets that they gathered.
Yeah. This being of celestial majesty would rule from on high and drown the land of Doma in eternal darkness. Will your light shield Hien and his people, or will it flicker and fail before the encroaching abyss? Okay. Are you ready, Kuppa?
Yes. I've been boxing this entire time. I did some push-ups, I did some stretches, and I've been boxing this entire time. So I'm ready.
There you go.
I'm not showing no weakness to the moon bunny.
Yes. Time to punch the moon.
The moon itself. Did you leave?
Yes.
You're supposed to protect your friends, and you just like, okay, he says it.
Yeah, I just walked out.
Just walked out. Like, yeah, you stay here. Enjoy your stay at the cast room.
All right, I didn't get to when they first showed those boxes. By the way, when they had the wide shot, I assumed from a moment there. I thought it was the prisoners. I thought they were in the boxes.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
I like when you said no, I'm like, oh, I think this is what they're doing. Like, I immediately thought that's what you.
Well, they've already shown precedent. Remember when Cry was being kept? She was being kept in boxes. Remember? Like
yes,
she was being kept in. Yes, I just assumed it was going to be that.
Yeah, because again, it would make sense that like they would have already been experimenting on them, and they'd be like, "Well, I told you we would return them. I wouldn't tell you like in what shape. This is what they look like now."
I would have liked that a lot more than one. No, you know what you do? I
feel like that would be very cliche, though.
You tie it into what happened previously. They're in like stasis, like they're in like comatose stasis. and they're like wishing for their god, for salvation. If you remember, that happened. Yeah, that happened with the dragons. Remember, we found out that there were a bunch of dragons in stasis, and they were all perpetually wishing for their dragon god, and that's what fueled...
But it was like Alagan's technology, so they would have to like set up that they have access to that.
No, they're doing their own version of that, obviously. Like that's... It makes sense that they would want to replicate that, because they're trying to like replicate Alagan technology, and they've already shown that happened with Dalamud. Remember Dalamud, he was being powered by basically like a bunch of like comatose dragons, like in a big chamber, which is crazy, by the way. But like the idea of them trying to replicate that, like that would have been sick.
Yeah.
Like that's one of the craziest revelations that they've had. Like that's is keeping people in a comatose state and having them wish for their god to save them, just to fuel their god primal. Like that's yeah. It's Sailor Moon.
Does she get a mini skirt?
God, she really does have massive bunny ears.
Yeah, I didn't notice.
It looks so stupid.
Yes.
They're just
they
so
move
long.
weirdly though.
Yeah.
Why are they so flowy though? That bothers me. The length does not. The way that they're just so... They move weirdly.
It's going to be a long night. Your end is near.
Hey, we got out of that.
Why are the
they're so
specters
fast.
suddenly?
Oh, they're meant to be like, you know, tormented souls.
Yeah, but why can she call them?
I don't know. Yeah, look, she knew what he wants. It's fine.
But yeah, she specifically says that, oh, it's feeding on my head. So it's exactly what I said. He knows himself.
Oh, look, it's Xanos. Is that Kosetsu?
Yes, there's a Spectre Kosetsu.
No, sure. Is this just one big therapy session? Is that what's happening right now?
Yes.
God,
like,
what was the last thing that what was the last one that did this? Remember? What was the last therapy session we had? That's therapy. Oh no, that was sorry, that was Final Fantasy 16. That was Final Fantasy 16. Yeah. I was playing through that.
Oh, now she looks different. Oh, she's a smaller.
Darkness begins the spider lily. From mortal, I rise anew.
Yeah, because remember in Final Fantasy 16 we find out that we were the ones that actually killed our brother.
Yes.
Yeah.
Spoilers, by the way.
Yeah, spoilers. But we figured that out through our therapy session.
True, because it was like you were like looking at the fight and then we were fighting. Like, oh, it was me actually.
Do I know what to do? Nope.
Nope.
Am I standing on the right side or not? No idea. Just gambling.
I'm also gambling. Well, I'm still alive, so I guess I gambled, right? I will limit break at some point. I think we can wait a little. Uh-oh.
Right here. In.
Grind you under my feet!
Ken? Oh, I'm just gonna... She had swords. I didn't even see. Wasn't she using a gun originally?
Didn't you like how when she transformed with her smoke pipe as well? No shot. Yeah. We like cleansed her. No, no shot.
No.
Did we just have a big therapy session and cleanse her brain? No shot.
No. You're not pulling out that.
No shot. No shot. That's like the worst thing you could have done. Did we just cleanse her brain? Did that just happen? No shot. That just happened. No
beat
shot.
Her up until she became Gandalf the White.
We just no shot. Did we just beat her brain until she forgot all about being bad? Is that what just happened? Did we just Oh god. Nah, Sokka, don't say it's so, Sokka. No shot. There's no way. Let's.
I mean, it would be very Final Fantasy, but yeah, that's weird.
No shot. I mean, she's. Oh my god. Is that her brother? Who just shot her? Okay. they had to have her brother shoot her. Now remember, she's got the kimono. So it's bulletproof kimono, she's fine.
You really must learn to finish the job. 'Tis true that a gaudy mirror and a handful of crystals make for a feeble summoning.
True.
But even the weakest icon is a god of sorts. A threat that must be put down.
The problem is that once you make an icon, like, she's like cemented, right? Like now she can be summoned again? Question mark?
My, such hostility. These beings are the sworn enemies of the Empire. I merely did my duty as an Imperial officer. Will you surrender to anger then? Slay an anointed emissary to avenge a fallen foe?
S is 2 on the nose. It's S.
Ha! You cannot, of course! To do so would burn the bridges we have labored so hard to build.
But I'm forgetting. They're already ash. This doorman woman has seen to that.
The Empire cannot ally itself with any nation that refuses to renounce summoning. I believe I was most clear on that point.
I was gonna say, the idea of us wanting to hurt him would make more sense if we had a reason to. Like, what did he do? He shot the person that we were shooting. Right? Like, with like, there's no reason to like fight him. The idea of him holding the prisoners hostage makes more sense if they wanted us to like want to dislike this person, right? Or like want to like attack him.
It should have been mine.
Yeah, you said that during the fight.
The power he bestowed upon her. I should have been the one to govern Doma. I would have repaid his faith.
No one alive loves him more than I!
Oh, he's a Sasang fan.
Instead, this harlot betrayed his trust. Useless piece of filth! Worthless whore!
I was gonna say that if they wanted us to dislike him more, like, he should have been attacking like people we care about, right?
Thank you, dear brother, for this precious gift. Vengeance. These people, our people, they ignore the corruption which festers beneath the surface. cast aside that which is dirty and broken. Speak not of things which would disrupt their dreary little lives.
Is our initial prediction going to be correct? So if you remember, in the last MSQ session we had, my prediction was because she killed her parents, she was going to kill her parents, then kill her brother, and then kill herself. Are they good? Are they actually going for the trifecta? The hat trick? Parents, brother, then self?
Like you, Asahi. Always pretending not to see. You were the first. The first I swore to kill. Such bliss. I had thought my hunger insatiable. But now I am satisfied. You should feel honored, dear brother. I saved the last of my strength, just for you.
That's disappointing. So like Gosetsu wasn't a part of this at all then, right? Like as we were concerned about.
What's the matter? The Witch of Doma will soon be dead.
Yeah, but like you, why'd they bring you back? Remember Gosetsu? Oh, I don't agree with any of this. Oh no. These are not good answers. Kosuyu didn't. Oh no. That's unfortunate. What the hell is this? Like, I guess the first one is the most accurate. But Gosetsu won't mourn you. Gosetsu will mourn the person that he envisioned was you, right? Gosetsu will mourn the brain damaged version of Azula, right? Like that was innocent, like Dango, and that knew none the wiser, and she was just a different person. Saying Gosetsu will mourn you is dishonest, because he won't. Doesn't care about you. Cares about who he wanted you to be, right? Yeah, there's no good answer here, but sure.
He will mourn to you, perhaps.
Yeah, this true. I'm glad that she said it.
I wonder, was the fruit as sweet as he remembered?
Xenos!
Okay, we're getting another flashback. There's so much to talk about.
Lord Xenos. I am at your disposal.
Oh, this is the revived Xeno. I was gonna say that one of our predictions that we had for Zuko's character was that there'd be an interaction between him and Xenos, because Xenos or Xenos, they decided to wreck on his death because they realized that they ruined they didn't like that they had killed one of their main villain characters that they still needed to use in the story, so they decided to wreck on his death, use him again. He has yet to really appear in the story since they decided to revive him. Now he finally is, after we kill Zuko. But sure.
Asai, you were born of Doma, yes?
But this confirms that they're reviving him.
Yes, my lord. I am honored that you would remember me. How may I serve?
You are hereby appointed Ambassador Plenipotentiary and empowered to speak with the voice of the Emperor. Return to your native land of Doma and announce your intention to sue for peace.
For peace?
Once negotiations are underway, you are to locate the acting Viceroy.
She lives? That is to say, I will, my lord.
When you have found her, you will initiate a ritual to call forth an icon. I will instruct you in the necessary steps.
This is unfortunate as well. This takes any agency, like the. Oh my god! Coming into post patch, we were hoping, Selko, you know this. We were hopeful. We were hopeful that maybe Square Enix had hired some people that know how to write a story, because we were enjoying the first part of the post patch, regards specifically for Doma. When you decide to write something like this, it takes agency away from this character here, right? It's like, oh, this guy was just telling him what to do the entire time. So it just takes away. It doesn't just take away from this character. It takes away from this entire portion of story that we just went through. Like it just makes everything worse as a result of that. And that's a shame, especially because Xenos wasn't even involved in any of this story either.
Yotsuyu's faith is unreliable, but as a child raised to believe in the Kami, she will serve as a vessel for one of the Kojin's gods.
Wait, what's this?
So.
What's this thrown in line? Yotsuyu's faith is unreliable. Okay. Child raised to believe in the Kami. Apparently she was raised in like a religious household to believe in a Kojin god. Oh god. So here we're being told, apparently she was raised in a household that worshipped Kojin gods. Apparently, and that would help her make use of the Kojin relic to make use of. So. I think Soku, you said previously that like, oh, you know, the Kojin, but they collected relics, so maybe it was like a something that they collected that belonged to maybe a different culture or something like that. This confirms that no, it was a Kojin god. So the moon spirit that she summoned was a Kojin god, and apparently she had worshipped them and was practicing their religion, I suppose, when she was young. Apparently. Oh god.
The power will seem a gift, but the Icon's essence will consume her. She will be no more than a husk, a slave to whim and desire.
goes over my head. Soko, I think it's important to bear in mind, our issue with Xenos being back isn't that he's back, it's that they killed him in the first place. When you're writing a story, they should never have killed him to begin with, to never have the issue of having to retcon his death. That's the thing. Because if you remember, I don't care for his voice acting. It's his character that I care for, and his character was interesting. The Xenos' character. They wrote themselves into a hole when they killed him off, and we spoke about it, but it seems like internally there was a disagreement, and whoever was in charge of the post-patch story disagreed with the idea of killing both Xenos and of Azula as well, and decided to bring them back. But because it was a hasty decision that was never the intention of the original writer of the MSQ, it felt very it felt very messy. It was a very messy process in which they tried to write the fact that they both survived their deaths in the first place. It was done in a very poor way. Like, it was very contrived. It wasn't a very natural storytelling method. Trying to explain that these characters are back. That was our issue. Is that the reality is, and we said it when they were killed as well, they should not have been killed to begin with, to make it a smoother story, and a smoother story, and a smoother kind of like tale being told.
My lord, ever since the day you saw fit to save my miserable life, I have dreamed of repaying your benevolence. Upon my honor, I swear to devote myself wholly to your service. All that you command will be done, no matter the cost.
I was gonna say, right, like, sorry, something that we had concluded was that it felt like, and this has been done in other media as well, but it felt like there was no plan. Sorry, so that's the big issue. This is why we were criticizing a lot of the story, the direction, the director or whoever's in charge, the lead story writer, or whoever's in charge of the Final Fantasy Stormblood, 14 Stormblood, is that it feels like whoever wrote the MSQ, there was no agreement, or there was no setup, or there was no plan as to what the post-patch story was going to be, which is why there was so much of a disconnect between the two. There was no planning ahead of time. At least to me, it feels apparent that was the case. That there was no planning ahead of time. So then when they got to that, it's like, oh, we actually wanted to use Xenos. We actually wanted to use Azula. We wanted to use these characters, and because we initially killed them off, like, we're kind of screwed. And so they had to like try to like reorganize themselves. But like, that's, at least to me, for Stormblood, it looks very much to the case that there was a lack of planning ahead of time, a lack of structure ahead of time. And unfortunately, that happens quite commonly. Like infamously, Star Wars, right? Infamously, like, we know this when they made God, what's it called? The first of the sequel trilogy, Rise of Skywalker, whatever the first one was. Whatever the first one was, it is well known now that they made that movie, but they had no plan for the next two movies. Like, they straight up, like, this is known, they had no plan about movie 5 and 6. So Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker, like, those, they were never outlined ahead of time, so they did not know, as they were making the first movie, they didn't know what the next second and third movie were going to be about at all. Like, they didn't plan that out. And there's been a lot of criticism levied towards Disney and the creators of the Star Wars sequel trilogy, because they didn't plan it. Like, they just didn't plan it out. That's why that trilogy is so messy. It's looking similar here, for example. Like, that's like one like infamous example, of course, was the Star Wars sequel trilogy. I guess you could maybe, another one's like Game of Thrones, right? Like, Game of Thrones, the last couple of seasons, like, technically, like, they were given some like points as to where the story was going to lead, but like, getting there was very messy. Anyway.
But I fear the subtleties of your plan yet elude me. From the reports I have heard, the champion who aids the Doman resistance would make short work of a single icon.
The icon is merely a message. The pacifist teachings of the Populares spread through this city like a plague. And I would remind the people of the threat we face. You will be my chosen agent. The hand which tolls the warning bell. The salvation of this world will not be won through the signing of treaties.
Your chosen agent. I will not fail you, my lord. My master, Lord Xenos, he will come for you.
You have prevailed, I see.
they dragged Gotsetsu out of the infirmary. No shot. Just for this scene.
She is gone. Wherefore did the Kami spare us, only to inflict this pain?
No, why should he shouldn't be reacting like, god.
Death shall not want for company this day. You spared us a worse disaster, but I fear our fledgling peace with the Empire was beyond saving.
Lord Hien!
He's gonna actually One Piece.
Maxima, is it not? I assumed you long fled.
I entertain thoughts of escape even now. But our negotiations have yet to reach a satisfying conclusion. The ambassador insisted that the summoning spelled an end to our mission here. But it seemed to me there was more to the tale. I have heard tell of this power you wield. And in your vision, you witnessed Lord Xenos giving these orders.
How can that be? Xenos is dead. He took his own life after the battle in Alamigo. I saw his body with my own eyes.
Forgive me, but Lord Xenos is very much alive. He granted our party an audience prior to our departure. That he was gravely wounded is certain, but his recovery appeared to be proceeding apace.
I'm afraid I share Lord Hien's confusion. The man's death was confirmed and his remains interred. These are matters of public record.
I have no doubt you believe what you say. But what then is the explanation? That an impostor has infiltrated the innermost circle of the Imperial Court? The idea is inconceivable, absurd. But worthy of investigation nonetheless. Our movement can ill afford to have a highly placed pretender undermining our efforts.
Your efforts may yet bear fruit. Tell me, what is to become of our prisoner exchange? Though we have already taken custody of our conscripts, we have yet to release your Imperial comrades. Do you still intend to collect them?
Yes. As the late Ambassador's second in command, it falls to me to speak on the Empire's behalf. And I'm happy to confirm our intent to proceed according to the original agreement.
Then let us be about it. 'Twould be a pity to abandon such a promising beginning.
Indeed. You have my thanks, Lord Hien. As soon as our people are secure aboard our airship, we shall depart straightways for Garlemald.
Tread lightly, Pilus. I sense treachery awaits you there.
Might I accompany you to the capital?
Alphino, have you gone mad?
Imposter or no, if Xenos was instructing Asahi on the finer points of ritual summoning, then experience tells us there is an Ascian waiting in the wings. Without our knowledge and expertise, our new friends will be hard-pressed to contend with a foe for whom death is but a minor inconvenience. They need our help.
Were you indeed willing to share your knowledge of this enemy, we would not shun your counsel.
You truly mean to do this? In full knowledge of the danger?
I have seen the Warrior of Light risk his life on countless occasions. Next to him, I'm scarce more than a distraction on the battlefield. But in the meeting room or the audience chamber, there I can make a difference. I can strike bargains, forge ties, and change minds. And where better to do these things than in the home of our old enemy?
Kugane? Where the embassy is?
Tis not for me to stop you, but I would have you consider an alternative arrangement. Rather than braving the Empire as a simple traveler, go forth as an emissary of Doma. Such a position should offer you some measure of protection.
Go then. You've obviously made up your mind. Just try not to do anything reckless, all right?
I shall be on my best behavior. Farewell, my friends.
And
Oh, hello there. Let me hold on. Let me play it again. Oh, hi! Is the battle over?
Hi.
That was literally here. Like as we stand on atop two dead bodies, he's like, "Oh, is it over yet?" Like he was so cheerful.
Huh.
Like it actually threw me off, like how cheerful he was about what happened.
Okay, I'm gonna be happy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be happy.
Okay.
Be happy.
Okay. So where do we want to start?
Hello, Iceland. Hello. Hello. What's up, Coppa? What happened? What's up? What's up, Coppa?
So we finished Azula's therapy session.
We did.
Mm-hmm.
We did.
And then she became Azula the White.
She did.
And then we're like, okay, cool. She's dead. And then Zuko showed up and he shot her.
Twice.
It's like, well, that wasn't necessary, but sure.
Yeah.
And then he went insane.
Uh-huh.
For no reason.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay. Should I keep summarizing or should I say what I think?
Just say what you think. It's fine.
I will say his whole dramatic monologue made very little sense. I don't know, maybe not. Made little sense to me, and then it made even less sense to me when we learned of the flashback.
Yeah, I agree.
Because it was like, oh, why didn't he pick me? I should have all this power, but then we are shown a flashback when he literally grants him the power. It's like, you will be my personal agent, like you will do my plan.
Yeah.
Like, so that's literally, like, he literally got the better deal.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand.
Yeah.
Like, even more than that, like Xenos himself, like, agreed with him, like, yeah, your sister is, like, useless, like, we should just use her as a tool. And, like, he's still upset that she was granted power?
No, yeah, it didn't make any sense. It felt like, because obviously he was repeating things that happened in the fight, in the dungeon or in the trial. It felt like maybe this decision was made. Sorry, this scene was created before the flashback scene, and the flashback scene was made after the fact. And there's just like a disconnect between the story that's being told between those two scenes.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
From the flashback, it seemed like he got all he wanted and more.
Yeah.
So, like, it made no sense for him to go on that crazy monologue. Right?
Yeah, I agree.
And it was just really weird because, insane for because it did seem like insane for no reason, because he achieved what he wanted.
Yeah.
Like, the Gallian forces saw what he wanted to see. Yeah, that's another thing. I was under the impression that, like, the other Gallians were also in on this, but apparently they were completely, like, unrelated to him. They were like, he basically infiltrated the organization, but they were like, they didn't actually know him personally.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I would think he saw the Gallians saw what they needed to see. Like, the Domas were properly inconvenienced, to put it that way, with having, like, Yotsuyu over their heads. All he should have done, like, because Yotsuyu is dead, he also, like, ties and loose ends, so, like, you know, that won't come to bite him. So what would make sense to me was if he shot her, maybe he, like, lamented, like, he caused him so much trouble and just left.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there was no reason for him to have that whole, like...
Yeah, like, so the problem is, two things just happened, and, like, it's the same problem. It's the same. It's just, I think one of the first things, I mean, I was speaking a lot as to what things were happening as they were happening, but like, with everything wrapped up here, they're making the same mistakes, and it's just bad writing. So what I mean by that is, if you remember, we spoke about how Xenos should have never died to begin with. Like, they should have, if they wanted to use him later, obviously they didn't know that they wanted to use him later. Obviously there was no planning ahead of time, and obviously there are different people and different writers, and they just fucked themselves up. So they had to, like, retcon it, and even here they're kind of like, they're being a little bit fourth wally. They're like, hold on, didn't he kill himself? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, like, we saw him kill himself.
Yeah, so that, like, obviously they're trying to write it in a way that makes sense. I think there are a couple ways they can do it, but whatever. But the big mistake is killing a villain without knowing where the story's going to go, right? That's why they should never have killed him to begin with. And same, you could argue the same with Azula, and I would say the same here with Zuko.
Yes.
The problem is, the reason why they killed him is because they don't want to. They
close the story.
Yes. They want to be done with it. Like it's which is weird because like why begin it to then why start it? Like why start this story in the way that you did if you were done with it in like a patch and you wanted to just move on? I thought with the way that they were writing this story, I thought this was going to last the entire post patch. Like there's still like 2 more patches left, by the way. Like there's still more story to be told here in Stormblood. I would have thought that they would have kept him alive and continued this, but no, it looks like they just want to move on. And it's like, well then why do any of this to begin with? Why did we bring Azula back to life if we're going to kill her here and now? Like,
I mean, I would say with Azula being killed here because like they were kind of like proving like, look, she's like nothing more than a puppet because she doesn't really like think about what she's doing, kind of thing. So like I would be fine if her dying here. It just was completely like out of the blue for Zuko to do what he did.
Well, it is out of the blue, but it's because they just wanted to kill him. Like they wanted to they just wanted to be done with the character. And it's just such a, it feels like such a waste. And I would still say the same about Azula. Like I understand that you're like, oh, like if they kill her now, it's fine. It's like, why bring her back to begin with? Like why construct this part of the narrative to begin with? We're just gonna like just throw the characters away anyway. Like it's just. Yeah, I think it was just poorly planned. I almost want to say that they began this story with plans of using Zuko in the future. Then halfway through, they were like, "Oh, actually, we're not going to use him. We've decided internally we're not going to use him in the next patch. We're going to use Xenos instead, and he's going to be the main focal point. And we don't really know how to write these two together.
That's
so
fine.
We're just going to get rid of him.
Both of them.
No. They can't. They don't know how to. Like, you think they can write more than one character?
I would hope so.
No, they can't apparently. So they had to kill him off to be able to focus on writing the one character instead. Yeah, that's how it feels to me. It feels like the direction of the character changed quite aggressively, like halfway through the story, because they wanted to get rid of him. Because they maybe initially planned on using him later, and then they decided not to use him later.
Yeah. I don't know. I still like more like the potential actual story they could have had.
No, I agree. I think there could have been a really good story told here, and I think they ruined, or they just missed the opportunity to tell a good story. I agree.
Also, another thing is that like, if because we only just learned, as I said, that like that the other Gallians who were with Zuko were not actually part of this plan. So, wouldn't it make more sense to keep Azula in custody? Like, tell her what the plan is. Like, assuming her memories come back. Like, tell her what the plan is. Or maybe don't tell her what the plan is, but like, insist on bringing her to this event. And then, as she is brought to the event, then you trigger her and she just becomes a primal there on the spot. And they will be like, look, Doman summoned the primal. Because otherwise, it just doesn't... So it doesn't serve the purpose that you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Because the Gallians clearly saw that she was planted, and as we saw, like they didn't agree with that because apparently they were actually legit.
Yeah. Well, I think again, I think that's just like it's yeah. It's just they want to have their cake and eat it too. Like they still want the idea of the Garleans wanting to push for peace and having like negotiations possible, but they wanted to kill this character, so they had to write it. And this is why I think the flashback was done afterwards and was probably done without actually checking like what was being done on the patch itself. It was, in my mind, it was made by two people, like two different writers made the flashback and the present timeline stuff that's happening. And what I mean by that is that flashback, that is what explained that, like, oh, actually he was being directed and told by a third party, and this had nothing to do with like the Garlean Empire and all this stuff.
We already knew that. Like, that was not a new information, was it? Like, we didn't know that the order came directly from Xenos, but we already knew that Xenos was around.
No, the
I guess our character didn't know.
Yeah, well, no, we didn't know that what he was doing wasn't what the Guardians wanted.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what we didn't know, right? We didn't know that.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, right? And then that was inserted afterwards, so that this whole negotiation stuff and the political stuff is not completely broken down. Because if the Guardians knew what he was doing, then there is no negotiating, right? Like there is no reason to send Alphinaud off to the Empire.
Oh, we're gonna get to that.
But there'd be no reason for that if it was like all in bad faith and they planned from the beginning to like kill us and stuff like that, right? So they had to write it that he was doing his own thing and it was separate, so they could cleanly like cut off that part of the story without it disrupting anything else.
That's exactly what it feels like. Like, oh, we removed all these problematic characters, now we can move on to this part.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, that's what it is. It's just, yeah, that's what it is.
Which again, I think is the worst story. Like, the better story was if Asahi was actually a legit character and he actually was like a diplomat.
Yeah, I agree.
Or even if he wasn't, even if really he was just Xenos ultra fan, as apparently we learned, like, just we said it before, like he seemed more intelligent, like just keep him that way. We're like, you know, he knows exactly what he's doing, and like he knows not to overstep it either, because he just overstepped it and he died.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just very unnecessary scene.
Well, I would say it's just very lazy storytelling, right? Because as you said, what the problem is that the way that he died was very out of character. I think that's maybe a better way of putting it. It was like it just didn't make any logical sense, and they had to like Frankenstein, like tape it together to just have him be killed, and that's how they decided it, right? If they wanted to kill him off in that situation, there probably would have been better ways of doing it, of course. You could have probably still killed him off here, but like have him like keep that more like cool-hearted demeanor, and just everyone thinks that she's dead, and then she kills him. Like like that's how you do it, right? That's how you would.
No, you know what? That would actually be a really cool scene. If you had a similar dialogue here, like where he like comes out and like, you know, he said like he does shoot her. And then like he just talks to you like, what, are you gonna like attack me, because you know, and then like she just kills him as he's speaking.
Yeah.
That would be such a nice dramatic scene.
Yeah. It would. Instead
of him just going insane for some reason.
Yeah. I think the insane thing I think it's like a trope, but like I think I think the writers feel the need to make you dislike the character before killing them. Yeah, they wanted to portray him as a monster. Like everything about like, you know, the facial expressions, like it was very like it felt very like forced. Yeah, it is. It was
like,
very
look how evil he is.
Yes,
kind of thing.
Yes, exactly. It's very, very forced, very unnatural, like very. Yeah, that's why I say it's just lazy writing. It's just like because they just want to very quickly make you dislike the character first, then they can kill him off, and then you can feel nice about this character dying because they were quote unquote crazy. But like this that's why I said it was very out of character, because it was just never portrayed ahead of time. He was portrayed as something different, but like it's just
he was portrayed as a very collected person. I mean, heck, you can have him be emotional about this, because you can be like, oh, you know, like she screwed his entire life and he's like mad about it. You can have him be emotional about it, but him just like going off on her as at the same time we are shown that like he's gotten everything he wanted. It's like it's just, it makes no sense.
Yeah,
it makes so little sense.
Well,
and also I was gonna say, once again, same as in the previous scene where we have Asahi being like baiting. They were like, oh, you know, he's like baiting you, like, are you mad? And like they show our characters as mad. I'm like, no, I pity him. Like his existence is so sad, and like I would maybe even like walk away if not for the fact that he had the gun in his hand.
Yeah. You know? Fun fact, they did the same thing, this whole idea of like making the character look as bad as possible before they kill them. They did the same thing with Azula the first time they killed her, if you remember. We commented on it at the time that they went as hard as they could to make her as despicable as possible before killing her off. That was when they laid it on real thick when she shot Kosetsu, and then they kept like doing the close up on her face, and like she's like laughing and like she's got that like evil like sinister smile and stuff. It's like all that was incredibly unnecessary, but they just really want you to understand that this character is like just a bad person just to kill her off.
Yeah, this is a bad person, and it's okay to remove them.
Yeah, and it's okay for her to die, that sort of thing. Like it's the exact same thing. Like it's like a crutch in writing. Like it's just again, it's just really lazy like storytelling, just because like you're trying to like insert it, you're just trying to like inject emotion into a scene without it like deserving that, right? Like it just there was no like build up to that, or there was no justification for that. But they did the same thing with Azula when they first killed her off, and then they decided to keep her alive. But the same thing here as well, where like they just they portray him the way that they did just to kill him. Yeah, I don't know.
And I said it before, and I will say it again. Some of the best villains are the ones that like aren't just evil in your face.
Yeah.
You know, they have like, and they have their motivations. Sometimes those motivations even make sense. They just make them like do like evil things in the end. But like, villains which have like a whole like, you know, logical build-up behind it are more interesting than someone like, you know, aha, it's so funny to like, you know, hurt people kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, that's why I say that it's like lazy storytelling, or it's just bad writing. Really what it is, it's like high school level like writing, just like, because creating like a more interesting, compelling character is more difficult, and because it's more difficult, like it's just difficult to achieve, it's difficult to do, and so people just don't do it, or they don't even try. And that's kind of what we're getting here, which is a shame. It's a shame. Like the moment that happened, like it's like, oh, when is the writing meant to get good now? Because like there was potential at the very beginning of this post patch.
No, this would
like,
be a really good story.
The first half was actually like well told, and then I don't know, maybe whoever was writing the first half, they're like, okay, hey, you got to work on the next patch. We're gonna take you out of this project. You got to work on the next one. Then they hand it off to like old mate intern, like to wrap up the story. And he was the same guy who wrapped up MSQ apparently. He was like, okay, let's go. I don't know.
I think I'm more willing to believe in change of direction than just putting a different person.
Maybe.
Where like you said that like, oh, they like actually like change the concept for the next expansion, so this character can't be here for whatever reason.
Yeah, but like the problem is that if that's true, as we said, like there are cleaner and better ways to write the character up.
Yes.
So yes. That's why I would assume that it was someone else doing it, because I have a hard time believing whoever wrote this wrote the first half, right? Like I feel like the quality of the writing deteriorated towards the end. So I would assume that it's a different person who's writing that. It's kind of weird if it's the same person.
It's actually bothering me so much that like you could play it out the same way and still give Asahi a better scene. Like just by making it more quiet, where like he's just you know talking to you like nonchalantly, and that's where he just gets stabbed, you know, as he's talking.
That's what you. I mean, that's just what you do. That's just what you do. Yeah.
It would have such a good like shock value as well, because he's just talking and like suddenly he's like, you know, stabbed and stuff. Why didn't they just do that? They could have just done that. And like, I guess someone could say, yeah, but then how do you prove that he's evil? Well, he already shot her. Like, the things already happened, you know? Like, he doesn't need to be more insane.
Yeah. Yep.
Now, about Alphino.
You're skipping ahead. Did you catch the moments where they in that because remember how I told you how the flashback scene felt very inserted after the fact? There was a line in that scene where they quickly explained the relic. They explained that apparently Azula she as a child she grew up in a religious household and she worshipped the Kojin gods.
Yes.
Did you catch that? And that's why the Kojin, and they specified that it was a Kojin relic.
He didn't say.
He said the
didn't
kami.
say Kojin gods. He said that she was raised believing in the kami, so she's religious enough to do this.
Yeah. But he specifically also emphasized that it was a Kojin relic as well. So the theory, the idea that it was like a relic that was taken from like another culture or something that they just collected. Like,
but
no,
why would she worship the Kojin?
Yeah, he straight up said no, it was a Kojin relic instead. Like, so the idea or the ambiguity that you could have had there, they just decided to just strip away. And they're like, no, that was a Kojin god that she was manifesting, apparently. And it's like, what?
Just make it ambiguous.
Yeah,
Like, you can leave it at that. You don't need to flesh that out specifically.
You know what that line reminded me of? That line reminded me of when they said,
the kimono?
Yes, it's the same thing, where they over-explain it, which means they draw more attention to it, which means they make it worse. Same thing.
Which makes it more weird, because now you're paying attention to it.
Yes,
it's like,
exactly. Same thing. So whoever wrote that line as well. Like, it's just, it's the need to feel to over-explain and then to try to like cover their tracks, but to mess it up in the process. Like, oh god.
Let me just also put one thing clear, like about that line specifically. So what that line said was, she was raised in like a religious household. But from what we know, she was sold as a child.
Yes.
And her parents hated her.
Yes.
Why would that like impact what she believed in? Why would she like have the same beliefs as her household?
What does that mean? Does that imply that the person that she was sold to, like they worshipped the Kojin gods? Question mark. Is that what that's meant to imply?
Well.
I know.
Like,
it doesn't make any sense.
The only thing I could think of is like, oh, maybe because like the Domans like hated her and caused her so much pain, she somehow found her way to the Kojin and like gravitated towards the Kojin gods. But she also killed her Kojin. She also hated Kojin as well.
Yeah. That would have been interesting. You don't have to do it with the Kojin, but like the idea that because of her disdain for the Doman people, like because that's so strong and so great, that she would like intentionally like look to like listen to and like worship like other religions or other races or other people.
Yeah. Because Kojins were a threat to Domans at that point.
Yeah. And have that tie into that. That would have been a lot more interesting for sure.
Yeah, and then you can be like, oh yeah, it was like a Kojin relic, and she knew those relics because she was interested in this. You know, that would make sense. But they didn't do that. No. In fact, another thing I wanted to say is like,
when she said the line,
we got many scenes. We got many scenes with Azula in the entire like expansion, and not a single one implied that she's religious.
No, not at all. Did you catch the line where she said that from the beginning, I wanted to kill you first when she talked to her brother? And there was no explanation of that. That was weird. Where apparently she hated her brother more than her parents. But like I would
let that one slide.
No, you can let it slide if you explain why. Like, we don't know why she hated her brother more than the people that sold her.
I mean, she said that it was because he saw what's happening and he didn't help her. So maybe she had the idea that because they are both like,
what's her little brother gonna do with her sister's
because see, maybe in her mind, like they are both siblings, so they're supposed to like help each other. But he was the same as the parents that they maybe when they were younger, it was like they were actually like on good terms. But again, we were not shown.
Yeah, that's the thing. You need to show that relationship to be able to sell that line. Like, that line is crazy.
I mean, again, I'm more willing to let that line slide, but yeah, I get what you mean.
No, I mean, I say it's crazy. I guess if you want to portray her as a bad person, sure, or like as a broken person, the idea of
a broken blaming, person. That's what
the idea of blaming your sibling for your parents like abusing you because your sibling didn't help you, but they're your younger sibling, that's crazy. But like, I guess if that's the kind of like person that you want to portray, like, sure. But they glossed over that though, like real fast and real quick.
They did. Yeah, but they did like portray her, although after the fact, but they did portray her as like somebody who, because of the way she grew up, she was just mentally broken in many ways. Like, she just had the weird concepts about the world because of that kind of thing. So I wouldn't put it past her that like she thought that like it was his duty to help her because they are siblings.
Yeah. Like, you can write it that way. You can. I will grant that. But they didn't. Like. Like, this is just like our fan fiction, but sure, yes.
But that's why I'm saying that like I'm more lenient towards that line specifically.
Yeah.
Because it could happen and they could write it that way. Just that we didn't get the proof of that.
They didn't. Yeah. They could.
Also, I guess not. That's not important. Never mind. I was gonna say that we never. Did we ever see Asahi before he became a thing?
No, I don't think so.
Like when we before this part of the story came out, like with Asahi, like did we see her having a brother?
No. There was no. She never even mentioned it. Like this was something constructed for the post-patch stuff.
I mean that happens. Okay, what else? What else is on the list? Because if not, then I'm gonna talk about my favorite answer in an RPG.
What do you mean? What's your favorite answer in an RPG? What are you talking about?
It's like you are in the dialogue, and the game is like, "Hey, player, would you like to respond to what was just said?" And the answer is yes and yes.
Are you talking about the Gosetsu line?
No.
Okay, I had an issue with that.
I'm talking about. We'll get to that, but I'm talking about when Alfino is like announcing that he wants to leave, and your responses are, "You go." That's the responses. You get no choice in the matter. You can't even voice your concern. You get nothing to say. You just get to say yes or yes.
So wrapping up this side of the story, I was concerned about them not incorporating Kosetsu in any way, because Kosetsu was not a part of the main of the fight, even though it feels like he was meant to be a part of the story because of how invested he was with Azula. And then suddenly at the very end, they drag him out of the hospital. He's coming out in his infirmary gown. Like what? Like why is he here?
What is he doing here?
Yeah. It made no sense.
Like regardless of his like relation to Yasu, this is a place that we deemed dangerous, and he's like hurt and stuff. And he was not part of this operation. So why did they ferry him here? Yeah.
Like him being there, it screamed that like whoever was writing this was like, oh yeah, remember Kosetsu? Like he's kind of important to this character that we're killing off right now, and that we're not going to use ever again. So we kind of need to like insert him here. And that was like another one of those like immersion breaking moments where like they're just injecting this character into the scene, even though it makes no sense for them to be there, because they want to do something with the character and this character moment, and they miss the opportunity to use him or set up the fact that he would be here.
Here's the thing. I know that they clearly didn't want to do this, but what would be a better scene in this case would be that Gosetsu does not appear here. We just proceed with whatever is happening.
Take her body back?
We could. I would even say like it could be nice to take her body, but like even if we don't, assuming we don't, that like whatever is happening here, like they clean it up, whatever. But we go back to Toma after the events.
Yes.
And we go tell Gosetsu what happened, and like as we telling him, like he still like has the persimmon like on the table because she only just like brought it. And like we tell her that in her last words she was hoping that he will like enjoy this persimmon, and then have him like realize what has happened.
You can write a really nice dramatic scene there where we go back, because I feel like we got to go back and tell people anyway, because I feel like we like the Domin people deserve to know that like that she's dead as well, right? Like specifically the people in the village, right, when they saw her and they wanted to kill her, and they were shocked to even see that she was even alive, right? Because that was being kept a secret.
That's why I said that like for that purpose maybe it would be good to have her body, and maybe like make some ceremonial, I don't know, like funeral or something, so people could see that she's dead.
Yeah.
But I think specific for the scene with Gosetsu, I think Yotsu's body wasn't necessary.
I agree, yeah.
And you could have just the scene where like you tell him what happened and have him react to it.
Well, you can even have him not say anything. You can even have him just stay silent and just sit there with the persimmon and then like pan out from that or something. Like there's
no, I think the scene of him crying was fine. It's just that it shouldn't be happening here.
Yeah, I agree. Like the scene that they had, what they were trying to portray with the character of Kazetsu here, didn't need him to be here. The fact that they did so tells me that they again, you get the feeling they just want to wrap it up. they just want to.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That it felt like they wanted to finish that scene immediately. That they didn't have a time to move to another location.
Exactly. They just want to move on. They just want to move. They just want to get the hell out of here, which is crazy. Like it's just that's the feeling you get. This they just want to move on. They're like we dislike like Azula and Zuko, and we don't like any of who was writing this. Like they just want to move on. Like it's crazy. Like
I would say it would be like a cinematic, like a voiced cinematic worthy scene of having like Azula's funeral.
Yeah, I agree. I think that would have been really powerful.
For the people, it would be like it would be this weird cinematic where like you would know like everything that happened, but for the people, this would almost be a celebration because
I was about to say that it would be pretty celebratory, which is a really nice motif to have, where you have like. I mean, the problem is that we don't like. I did not even feel bad for like Zuko like kicking or shooting Azula. Like that was another weird thing. Very quickly, is that this is another scene where it would have been better if the prisoners were present, because we had no reason to dislike. I had no reason to dislike Zuko, like in that moment, like where I think where he's like, what are you gonna do, like fight me or stop me from enacting like my evil deeds? And it's like, you haven't done anything. Like I don't like, but if the prisoners were there,
he has done some things, but like not enough for me to attack him.
Exactly.
Like,
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Like,
if there were people there that we actually cared for, that we actually feared for their well-being, then there'd be more tension to the scene, and there's more reason for the character itself to be upset. But like they didn't do that. Like it was just, it was again a weird decision made. Like, it was forcing to try to like make you dislike the character.
As much as that's what I was a bad person, like I don't think he should be like venting on a body, but like. Still, like again, I didn't feel as enraged as they made it look like, because again, from my perspective, like especially because of the echo, because I could see a lot into his past as well. That like to me, it seems like basically like this kid that's like been groomed to be a certain thing, and like it's kind of like the fault of his environment more than like his own like personality, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
Where like I pity that this is the world he had to grow up in, because that's what it made him. But like that's the thing. Every time they showed Zuko, like all I could see was a kid really trying to like get someone's appreciation and acknowledgement.
Yeah. But I guess so winding it back, that's why like when in this idea that we have of them having like a procession for Azula's death, and for it being like a celebratory thing, the idea of like us knowing a little bit more to it, like I don't know if we'd be very sad, like as in, because it'd be different if she died like the innocent version of herself. That would elicit a different reaction, because then we would know that, oh, she died, everyone's celebrating, everyone's happy that she's dead, but we know that in her last moments, like, she wasn't that same person, but we know that in her last moments she was that same person. So it's like, so I feel no, I don't feel any kind of sorrow for her dying. Like it would be like a good thing. It would be different if they hadn't made her turn.
Yes, but that's why I kind of go back to the fact that like it would be more interesting if she was brought to the exchange like by the Domans, and then like she had this relic in her possession, because he gave it to her beforehand. Like she had it for a while, and they would just like trigger like basically Zuko would just trigger her instead of her doing it knowingly.
Yeah.
So like she would still become primal, but it wouldn't be like, oh, she just came here with that intention.
Well, that's what I mean. Like the problem is that they made her go full like mask off, like just so you feel nothing for her. Like she And they didn't have to do that. They didn't have to go all the way with that. Like they could have done so much more with that character as well, despite the fact that we dislike the character. Like there's something that could have been a little bit more interesting. Like as I said, like I feel like turning into a prime was like the worst way to deal with that character. I think she's more interesting like as a regular human antagonist sort of thing.
See, the problem with her being a regular human antagonist is that in the whole expansion they established that she never fights.
Yeah, well, they also failed in that as well.
So she doesn't have like the the battle skills, and she's not very smart. So like, what does she have that is like dangerous? Because the only thing she had in the expansion was power that was given to her.
Yeah.
Like she didn't have anything intimidating on her own.
Yeah. But that was also a big criticism. If you remember, I wanted her to be a fighter. Like I wanted her to do things herself. Like I wanted.
Yeah,
but,
yeah. But they didn't do it. That's why I'm saying that like there is no other way. Like the only thing you can do with her is give her more power.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't have anything threatening on her own.
Mm-hmm. Well, the only other thing would be that she just leads the Garlean people in that moment, and she orders them to like kill us, or again, like she would have ordered like the death of the prisoners and stuff like that. Like you can still have her like.
Yeah, that's what I expected. That's what I expected, that she would like mess with the prisoners somehow.
Yeah.
But that's not what happened.
Nah. Also, this was
also, what did you pick in the cinematics? Because I think you picked differently than me, finally.
I didn't like the options that we had for her death. I think there were two options, right? One was like Gosetsu would mourn you.
Gosetsu will mourn you, or Tsuyu deserved better.
Yeah. And I didn't. I think it took me like 5 minutes to pick an answer. Like because I was like I didn't like any of these.
I think it did because you were so behind me.
Yeah. Like I did not like any of the answers there because, I mean. I ended up picking Gosetsu would mourn you, but like that isn't true, and she even corrects you. Like she's like, oh, maybe he'd mourn Tsuyu, right? Like she even says that herself, which is true. Which is why like I didn't like that answer, because the reality is that he shouldn't mourn her. He shouldn't care for her because she isn't. Because like again, there's so much fucked up stuff in this story. Like he shouldn't mourn her. She shouldn't care for her because he doesn't care about her. He cares about the brain damaged version of her who's more innocent and is not her at all. I mean, it's like a different human being. Like
you say that, but if you remember back in Stormblood proper, he did know more about her personally than any other character did, and we never got that explained.
Well, this is why when you're telling a story, and if that's true, and if he had more leniency towards her pre like losing memory, then you do that. Then you have her, what you would do is you would have her regain her memory, and then you have a scene where he's like forgiving of her even if she's her old self again, and he wants better for her, and he wants her to improve as a person. And you know what, you can even go as far as to be like, you know what you do, right, in a more dramatic story, in a more dramatic setting, is that when she regains her memories, he's with her, have her kill her parents, and instead of her brother finding her, Gosetsu finds her, and he's like, hey, it's okay, I'll lie for you. No one else needs to know that you're your old self. You can live a new life. You can live a new life. You can live a new life. You can
he
like,
wouldn't lie.
Maybe he'll just admit, I don't know, but like show that he's willing to care for her even if she's who she is, right? Even if she's like the murderous person, like show that he's, if you're doing that, then maybe he'll mourn for her. But otherwise, like I don't have any reason to believe that would be the case, because we still don't know as to why he attached himself so much to her to begin with, like outside of the fact that he wanted.
No, that's why I'm saying that
her.
like we never got it explained why he would like know more about her than average person.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that would be an interesting way to explore, especially because they said that Gosetsu for a while was serving the Empire as well.
Yeah.
So it would make sense for us to find out what was their connection.
Yeah, but they didn't. They didn't do anything with it.
Maybe it will be now, but we'll see.
Yeah, they didn't do anything with it. They didn't give any explanation. Now it's too late. Now she's dead.
I mean, true, but after the fact, they may do that. But what I was gonna say, I actually chose the other answer.
What was the other answer again? Oh, right, it was Tsuyu deserved better.
Because that was like you didn't deserve better, but Tsuyu did. Like you could have that life, but you chose to go this path, basically.
Yeah.
And her response was that it was not meant to be. That was the response.
But like the thing is, like that's why it would have been so much better if what you do, if you really want Gosetsu to be here, you write it so that he needs to confront her post return of memory. If you so after she kills her parents, if you don't want him to say that he'd lie for her or whatever, but have him be there and have him try to, like, you know, he's like the light side, you know, trying to pull her back to like sanity, right? Where he's like, hey, like we can get through this. Like, you don't, you know, you can still live a normal life, you know, you can still, you know, be redeemed or whatever he wants as a person. Have her reject that, and then have him like come here to like confront her or something. Like have him be here naturally instead of whatever they did here instead.
Yeah, I mean, even if they said that, like, we're like, you know, when they escaped, they were like, Gosetsu heard that Yotsu was here, and like he insisted on coming or something.
Yeah.
And he's like big enough to, you know,
but like,
force
no,
himself.
but I would say ahead of time. I would say ahead of time. Like he needs, like, I would say it's more powerful if he is wanting to forgive her despite her like being a monster. Like that's more powerful, and that means more than him looking after her when she's like a brain damaged child. Like, I didn't
see. I would say because you say like forgive her. I would say it would make more sense if he went kinda, you know, the auspices route, where he's like, she's too much to be released like in the public, but he also knows that there is a good part to her, so he will like put it on himself that he will get like basically imprisoned with her, so she can live a life like, you know, secluded, like isolated from people, but like she can live her like days basically on like a farm or something, instead of her just being killed on the spot. No,
yeah, sure, but like have that scene like that. I feel like that scene is important. I feel like that scene is important for the character, for Gosetsu and for Azula as well. Like, I feel like that would have been and to have her reject that, right? To have her make the decision, make the choice to like reject that, and to do what happens here, and then still have him, like, you know, come and try to talk her down, but like maybe be too late, or maybe see her or whatever. But like I feel like that was necessary, because I did not like him crying, because it felt like a lie. Like it felt like he was like again, that would make sense if she hadn't gotten her memory back, but because she was back to being a monster and back to being like a cruel person, like I don't know if she deserved that.
Like, I agree,
like
it's weird for him to get so attached to her, to like specifically her version after the fact, and not her as a person.
Exactly. Like it doesn't. It just, because he wasn't connected to her as far as we know, because I know that you're trying to say, but like, oh, but there were like a couple of lines where he felt like he was like a little more understanding of her position.
I'm just saying that like there were some lines that we thought were interesting, but they were never explored. Yeah,
but so I want to like remove all of that, because clearly like they never explored it, so that doesn't matter. What matters is like the interactions that we did see, and again, like, because he never formed an attachment with her as a person, it feels wrong for him to cry in that moment, I guess. Especially because he knew that she had gotten her memories back. Like it feels wrong. Like it feels undeserved. It feels like he was crying for someone that wasn't there. And maybe that's why he's crying. Like you can like write that. You can
it's
write.
like I feel like it's more like that like,
yeah, you can
more
like
mourning what could have been, and not so much
the problem is, I think that's too smart for the writers. I think they did not make that decision. Unironically, I think you can write it so that it's more meaningful and that it makes sense that he's not crying for her, he's crying for for who she could have been, which is like a brain damaged child. You can write that. I don't think that's true though. Like I think that the writers just made it so that he was crying for her, and he was sad about her death, like Azula. I have no confidence in the writing team to have any kind of anything deeper than that, unfortunately. Based on what we've seen here.
Yeah. I still think that the persimmon scene would be better.
It would be.
Because like, regardless of what his reaction is, like there was no reason for him to be here.
Yeah.
And actually, you know what? In that situation, it would actually make more sense for him to cry, because her talking about him like positively means that like she remembers what she did and she doesn't like regret it. Because originally she was like upset that he was like being nice to her and stuff, despite who she is. But like at her final moment, she was like okay with that. And she actually like wished him well, basically. So I feel like in that moment, where like when we tell him that those were her last words, I feel like that's when
that's what I mean. Like you're, because then you're informing the character that there was something more there, right? And then there's more reason.
It wasn't just her being like disabled. That like actually like she knew what she was doing.
Yeah, then there's more.
She was
there's
like
more.
Aware.
Yeah, there's more reason to mourn. Like that's what I'm saying. Like there needs to be something more there to justify the crying, to justify his reaction. Like I'm very unsatisfied with how they portrayed. Like it was undeserving. I feel it was just undeserved. But yeah, so this is the first showing of Xenos frontal for the first time. As in, before this, so, yeah. If you remember, they kept telling us, but we'd never seen Xenos. So there was, they could have always played with the idea that it was like propaganda, that they were saying that it was alive, but he wasn't actually alive. So like,
I don't think it would be though, because like we like, it would make sense if it was propaganda in public, but why would there be an imposter like in the bed, you know?
Yeah, but here like we got confirmation of that. Do you think? Because when it comes to over-explaining, they did the line here where they over-explain and they're like I think they implied that they had his remains, right? Like where they were talking about how like it was documented and written down in record, like his about his remains.
Yeah,
in his body.
I don't like how they said it, by the way. Because they're like, oh, because this is like public knowledge. I'm like, that doesn't matter what kind of knowledge it is. You saw it with your own eyes. There's better knowledge than public knowledge, no?
Yeah. I think because that line though, because it implies that maybe like they even held his body or even still have his body.
Yeah, that like maybe they examined it or something.
No, but like I think that implies that maybe because he merged himself with Shinru, is he just a primal now? Like I
said that. Yeah, I said that before, that like the only way I see from this happening is because he was primal, like his body just became ether and they were just able to like recapture it back in
The thing is that if that's the case, then technically that means that he should never die. Like unless we do the same thing we did with the Ashians, where like you construct like the Orosite like blade thingy and then and you kill like something like that. But like technically, if he's now a primal, like he can always be wished back.
Technically, yeah.
Which means they can just keep killing him if they want to. They can just keep killing him and bringing him back.
I mean, again, that's the only way I see of him returning right now, unless there are two other options. Option number one, Eorzean forces are extremely incompetent, and there was actually a guy who snuck out his remains and they were able to revive him. And also somehow he wasn't dead, despite everybody claiming so. And option number two is that it is in fact an imposter.
I feel like an imposter would be weird. That'd be weird. I don't know. Like it'd be, yeah, it'd just be weird. But yeah, I don't know. Did anything else happen? A lot happens. It was a long cutscene.
Well, after the Gosetsu scene, we talked to Maxima.
Yeah, we spoke about that, about how they wanted to excise the younger brother completely and get rid of that part of the story to still leave it open that apparently they still want the Guardian Empire to be open diplomatically to negotiations with Doma. Like they still wanted to keep that aspect of the story while still removing while still removing.
Which again,
Zuko.
I feel like the better story would be if Zuko was genuine and he was actually part of that movement.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially since it would make sense considering that Doma is where he comes from.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it would be a neat story where, like, you know, again, we have talked about this before, but basically, this would be like a story related to Fordola. You know how Fordola decided to work with the Empire because that's her idea of, like, you know, giving peace to the Alamigans. Obviously, there were problems with that, but like I was saying, this was the idea that like she wants to give peace to Alamigans by, you know, making them part of the Empire so they are proper Gallian citizens. And it would mirror here with Asahi, where, like, you know, he was raised as an Imperial, but, you know, he wants to bring the peace to Doma by making them part of the Empire, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
That would make sense, and it would be an interesting story to see, like, you know, the different ideas and stuff. And
yeah, the problem is, and I do think that initially that was the plan, but the problem is that, like, I feel like that would require multiple patches, and I think that the plan was for it to be multiple patches, and then halfway through they decided not to. They decided, like, we're going to commit to this Xenos idea, and we're going to be working with this instead, and there was just a conflict of ideas. When it came to whoever was deciding where the story was going to go. Yeah. It's a shame. I feel like there was something else that happened that I wanted to comment on. Alright, Afino.
Can we talk about my boy Alfino?
You know, can we talk about the idea of he was like, oh, you know, like, how better than to, like, you know, I don't know, to make use of his, like, his diplomatic prowess and then to be, you know, with the Empire to be able to interact with them. The entire time I was like, did everyone just forget? Did the writers just forget? I mean, clearly they did. Remember how Kugane was meant to have an Imperial embassy? Remember that? Remember how there was meant to, remember when they introduced that during the MSQ early on, and we were like, oh, okay, I guess that's where Afino's going to be, because apparently there are a bunch of embassies of, like, different nations
like,
here.
Diplomacy,
yeah,
right?
and I guess that like opens up, like, the potential to, like, have these, like, negotiation, like, meetings and then have these, like, interactions and stuff in Kugane, because that was the point of the city, and nothing was ever done with it. And even here you can use it, and they're like, nah, we're just gonna go to the Empire instead of using the fact that,
to the capital.
I guess. What? Like, this makes, like, it makes no sense considering the fact that they introduced the idea that with the fact that there was specifically an Imperial embassy in Kugane, and they're just not using it. Like, that's the point of the embassy.
And that Kugane was the neutral ground.
Yeah, that's the point of the embassy, is that you have a representative of your nation there for diplomatic purposes. Use it. We're just not using it at all. Period. Did we just forget?
Like, what makes Alfino think that he would be able to speak in, like, you know, the Gallian Senate or whatever they have?
No, yeah, nothing. Like, there's no. The issue here is that, like, there's no, especially because we were just quote unquote, like, double crossed, or, like, clearly, like, there was like bad faith involved when it comes to the negotiations that were trying to be done here between ourselves and the Gallian Empire. For what we know, like, it was their full intention. Like, we don't know that, like, I mean, I guess that's the point of the Echo. Like, that, yeah, that's why they had to insert that Echo flashback scene, and that's probably why they did it after the fact, because that tells us that it wasn't Gallian. Yes, exactly. Like, that's why they had to insert that scene.
That's why we saw exactly who gave the order, and it wasn't just any person; it was specifically Xenos.
Yeah. Otherwise, story-wise, we would have to object to Afino going. Yeah.
I see. That makes sense now. Because the flashback was very weird with the context.
It was, but
that makes sense why it's there.
Yeah, they had to.
But nonetheless, like, from what I understand, like the Populus, whatever they're called, like, they're not a main faction. They're like a smaller faction that are, like, trying to convince people, and I just don't know if they have the means to, like, give him give him like place to speak or even protect him. Like I was gonna say more in the context of like, because Alfino's like, oh, I can like appeal to the people, you know, in like their politics and stuff, but like I don't know if they would like let you speak in the first place, not even mentioning the fact that like they won't be able to protect you.
Yeah. Well, that's the point of the embassy, right? Like that's the point. That's what they use for, right? So you can speak to someone who speaks for the nation, speaks to the people, like in a more comfortable setting, in a more neutral ground, as you said, because the Quick Island is meant to be neutral. So you're meant to feel safe there because like no one has the advantage. Remember that? Remember the whole setup that they had there that they literally are not using at all, even though there's room for it here?
Yeah, and how Alfino stayed there for months watching the Galleons.
Yeah.
And not much came out of that.
It's crazy.
But also, I am just so upset about how I feel like, oh, so I'm gonna go, and your response is yes, you go or you go, and like, how about either I say no, but again, they don't want me to say that, but at least I think what I should have said with all the context of the story, that Alfie can go, but only if he has a bodyguard. He has been stabbed, okay, before.
Sure.
He's going to enemy territory on his own. Like even Asahi, who you know, who wasn't in danger of harm, he had his people with him at all times. Why is Alfino going alone?
Do you think anything's gonna come of that? Do you think
Yes.
In my mind,
but not in a big scale.
In my mind, it's so messy. So first things first, because they're wrapping everything up right now, there's literally, they can take the story in whatever direction they want, right? They just completely just like they wrapped it all up. So they can do whatever they want.
They remove, like, again, as I said, they remove the problematic characters and they can just go wherever they want.
Yeah, unfortunately, so they just wipe the slate clean. In my mind, the only reason why you would want to send Alfino to the Empire is to remove that character from the story that's being told. If you remember, they already did this a couple of times, but they didn't do it well enough. If you remember, like they started Stormblood by removing Alfino, and that's why we had the perception that like, oh, maybe it's LSA's expansion, but then they brought him back anyway. Like they still inserted that lasted only a couple of quests before like they reintroduced him, which was kind of weird that they had done that. But it feels like they're gonna do it again here, like mechanically wise. Like the reason why you would send a character away is because you don't want them to be a part of what comes next, to give attention to other characters. But I don't know where the story's going to take us here in it, so I don't. Yeah, it's hard to say. But that's the impression I'm getting, is that they just want to remove the character for now, for whatever comes next in the story.
I don't know, but he better not get stabbed. Like again, I think it's ridiculous to send him on his own.
Yeah.
In fact, I feel like we should be his bodyguard, but he may be like, oh no, but you know, like Warrior of Light is like too well known. They will think it's hostile, and like maybe I could concede to that, but like he still should be going along.
Yeah. Look, it's either that or you put him in the hospital, and then he can join Ishtola and Kryl.
I mean, hey, Alisa came out.
She's the only one that recovered from the coma. Everyone else is still in the coma. They're all
yes, Alisa is the only one who recovered from the hospital.
Yes, everyone else is still in there.
I think we missed.
During all this, Light has been running non-stop. Locker has just been lying on the floor. Yes. You lying on the floor?
I was lying on the floor.
Oh, okay. No, I'm doing laps.
Now I'm reading a book.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Because that's
yeah, you also picked a different thingy for Maxima's question.
I couldn't remember what he said. What did he say?
You told him that it was Zeno's orders, and meanwhile I told him that I saw Asahi's past.
Yeah.
Because my justification was like, if I tell him it was Zenos who did it, like then what proof do I have for this? But on the other hand, Guardians know of existence of Echo, so they would know that that is a thing that can happen. So that was my justification.
Yeah. I mean, the bringing Kazetsu to see Zosu last time was great. I wanted to see the closure of him getting to say his farewell to Zosu. As I mentioned, like I don't know if the writers have the. I don't know if that was their intent. Because I agree that like him being sad for something that never was, like I guess I can get behind that. But like I don't think he would mourn her death necessarily just because they made her have the full turn, right? Like. So like I don't think she's deserving of that.
But that's the thing, like again, that's why I say that like it would make sense if he like, you know, either like wherever the scene is, because again I think he shouldn't be here, but even if he's here, it would make sense if he's just like quiet, like just knowing that like she's dead, and like he has like basically no reaction because he knew that this was probably gonna happen. But then we tell him what her last words were, and that's what breaks him. That specifically, not the fact that she's dead, but the fact that like in her last moments, like she had that awareness.
Dude, I wanted to get the hell out of here too. I was just playing this part aside from Masuo and Kosetsu's story because that was the only thing I really liked here. I mean, I think you were gone at the time that we were explaining it, Soko, but for me it was very apparent that they had a certain idea and a certain plan for the story and a certain direction for the story. Then when they decided to change that direction and decided to try to wrap this up, they intentionally wrote a poor story to be able to wrap it up as quickly as possible without needing to continue everything. Yes. Well, no, not even. No. I would push back against that. Not just rush, but like we spoke about it. We spoke about the idea of like writing
closing the story, basically.
We spoke about the idea of writing Zuko like the worst way possible, so then they could kill him off as quickly as possible, so then you could just move on from that. Whereas that was never the intention of the character, but they felt the need to write him in such a way that you can just get rid of him, right? And there'd be no issue with that. Like that felt intentional just because they wanted to move on from that story that they were initially telling.
Because it didn't feel like...
It didn't feel natural.
It didn't feel like that's something that would happen. It felt like very sudden, like a sudden change.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, who are we talking to?
Let's see. Can speak to you, Giddy.
Okay. Kosetsu dragged himself here from his sickbed, only to be greeted by the sight of Yotsuyu's corpse. He had not the words to comfort him.
I say.
Alfino, you impulsive fool. I thought about trying to talk him out of it, but I know what I would say. But I know what I would say if the roles were reversed. What? Stubbornness is something of a family trait.
Okay, Ian. I knew Asahi was planning some manner of treachery, but a summoning. Thank the Kami you were here. You were here, my friend. None of us would have escaped Yotsuyu's vengeance had you not intervened. She was a pawn, aye, but she still had a choice, and she chose to submit to the ambassador's plan. 'Tis little wonder Gosetsu departed in silence.
I gather he left the same way he came, alone aboard a rowing boat. As for the conscripts, most made it to the Sekibune before the battle began in earnest. But the vessel yet waits at the riverbank for those who did not flee in time.
Then I suggest we put this doleful place behind us, and make for the Enclave together. It would be a shame to miss the joyous reunion. Okay. Are we going to have the parade scene?
Let's see.
How often have I imagined this moment? Thank you for helping it come to pass.
I do apologize for the audio. The audio is very low at the moment. I forgot to turn it back up. I don't think I can turn it back up mid cutscene, unfortunately. We're not going to bring up the fact that she's dead?
Ah, there you are.
Oh my god. Okay.
Gosetsu, your hair.
My friend, what have you done?
Oh, he's making himself look like a persimmon.
An old man who cannot raise his blade has no place in the service of a young lord. Thus did I decide to devote my remaining days to pilgrimage. I will walk this land, offering prayers of repose for all the souls who left this life in suffering.
All of them?
A fulsome farewell makes for an enjoyable journey.
Scarcely have we said our goodbyes to Alphino, and you leave us too. But 'tis well that my companions find their own way forward. I must endeavor to do the same.
I have faith that you will find the best path for Dharma without me, my lord. Pray forgive me this last act of selfishness, and grant me your blessing.
I'm glad that they're saying that this is selfish. It is. I don't like it.
You have earned it 1,000 times over. Go in peace, my friend. I shall make of Doma a land where children laugh and none need live in fear.
There is no better way to honor those who went before. And with that, I take my leave.
Go show his face. And leaves Super down to see all out. That's... I didn't think of that. It's amazing. All right, true. Hold on. La copa. Ah.
What's up?
What's up? What do you think? No shot. This is very apt. There's nothing in the brain. There's just nothing there. Oh god. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
Look at those empty eyes.
Oh no. What's up, Copa? What's up?
No, I don't think it was that bad.
It wasn't that bad.
I just think it was a missed opportunity to call to actual cultural thing in, I believe, Japan, where if somebody is ashamed of what they've done, they shave their head. Like that's just a thing.
Yeah, that is.
Because like having hair is considered like the good thing. So you know when you made a mistake, you shave your head as like a way to repent, kinda. And that's a cultural thing. So
Yeah.
I found it unnecessary that they said he would become a monk. And I wonder if that's a localization thing because the Western audience wouldn't know the context.
Maybe. Like I don't think it was made clear as to the reasoning as to why he is making this decision. And I think it's important to hammer home what is happening here because I didn't even know like what the rationale is, right? Like
yeah, he doesn't say.
Yeah, like I don't think I like it. I don't like the trajectory of the character they've decided here because I feel like it feels really weird. It feels really almost out of touch. Like I think he even said it himself. He's like, good luck rebuilding Doma. Like this is your home nation. Like I feel like it's important that he's a part of this. I feel like it's important that he's there as like Hien's like trusted advisor. Like it feels wrong. Like it feels obviously he said himself that it was selfish, but it feels more than that. It feels almost like, I don't know, it feels like irresponsible or like disrespectful or like there's so many like emotions.
But like like just ignorant of what is happening and what he would be used for. But I think so. Here's the thing. My interpretation of this cutscene. Again, this is interpretation.
Okay.
This is not the writing story that isn't there. This is
your fan fiction. Okay, your fan fiction. Okay.
No. I will get to fan fiction. Okay. I will get to fan fiction. This is just the interpretation.
Okay.
Is that he doesn't say that directly, but this is his way of mourning, and that's why he doesn't want to be here because he knows, because he knows that other people don't accept that, so he wants to mourn himself. And that's like his way to mourn is to just travel, you know. And also he doesn't want to be a bother because people have to take care of him. So that's like the interpretation. Now for the fan fiction, this is where you circle back to the fact that shaving the head is a sign of shame.
Yes.
And he is like, wait, Gosetsu, but like I would need like a trusted advisor like in rebuilding the country. It's like, you saw what my advice has done. Like I'm not fit to be an advisor, and then he leaves.
That would be fire, by the way. Like I like the fan fiction. I like the idea of Gosetsu like, reflecting on his mistakes, reflecting on his treatment of Azula, of everything that happened, of
like he acknowledges that like his like emotions can cloud his judgment, and that even though he meant well, like in the end it actually became worse for Doma than it could have been. So I think that should be like Gosetsu's like honor talk, where it's like, you know what, like the way I wanted to do things didn't work, so I don't think I should be an advisor, and that's where he lives on a pilgrimage. Yeah,
I agree with everything you just said. Unfortunately, I don't think that's the message that the writers are trying to portray. I felt the same way about, and this is also why like I was pushing back against Gosetsu's crying scene, because you're right. You can write it in such a way where he's writing not for Azula, because Azula doesn't deserve his tears, but for what could have been, and for this other like character, that the fact
that there was something in her.
But like I don't believe that the writers intended that. Same here. Like I agree that the idea of him having all this shame because of what's happened, I like that idea. It makes sense considering how we feel about the character and the story that's taking place. I don't get the impression.
And he is always like extra honorable. Like he is like the honorable guy.
Yes, but I don't get the impression that that's what they're trying to portray here in this cutscene. I don't get the impression that he's ashamed of what he did and the events that took place. I don't get that vibe that that's kind of what they're trying to say. It feels more like I'm pretty sure, especially with Hien's comment about like helping everyone, it feels like he just wants to go out and help people on a more individual level, because that's what he tried to do with Azula, and he also wants to do so not just with Dolmens but maybe with Guardians, and not necessarily discriminate and help people as a whole, not just help Dolmen people. Like I'm pretty sure that's kind of the vibe and the narrative that they're trying to tell here, which I think is a very weak narrative. That's why I said that like it feels very irresponsible, the idea of him wanting to go out and help people. Like I understand that like there's some, I guess, some honor in that or some nobility in that, but like the idea that like his nation is like destroyed and like recovering, and how Hien's doing the best he can to bring his people back together, and the idea that Gosetsu was a big part of that and should be a big part of that, and is important to Hien, like it feels weird that he's choosing to leave and to go on his own kind of journey while this is still happening. Like it feels weird for that to happen. And again, I don't get the impression that they want you to think that Gosetsu feels shame in what's happening here. Even though I do think that would be a better story to tell. Like I don't get that. I don't get that impression.
There's also the other thing where they kind of referred to it earlier, like in the earlier scenes, how Gosetsu feels like he's a hindrance because he's old. So like he basically wants to remove himself because he doesn't want other people to take care of him. So I feel like that's part of it. That like it's not so much that like
that's also misguided.
Think he would help. Yeah. But like that, like he doesn't want to be taken care of. He doesn't want to be a hindrance because of his age.
Yeah, but that's also like again, that's also misguided. That's also like a character flaw, and that's why I don't like it. Yeah, and I don't like necessarily that idea that he thinks that he's useless, so he thinks that he can't help Hien, when it's reality he can. Like there's more that he provides than just like something physical, right? He provides something that like wisdom and
but he doesn't think that. He thinks he's a warrior, so if he cannot hold the blade, then he's useless.
But again, I don't get that necessarily. I don't get that vibe from this.
He doesn't say what he said.
Yeah, I know that's what he said. But I don't know if that's the message you're meant to comprehend necessarily. Like the idea that he feels. Yeah, no, it doesn't make any sense, because you're saying that he feels useless, that's why he wants to leave, but he said himself that he wants to help other people. So clearly he feels like he can provide some value to other people out there.
He said he will pray for other people. That he will be a walking monk and he will just pray for other people.
You get the impression he's gonna do more than just pray. He's not gonna go out there and give hopes and dreams to people. Like he's
yeah, he's literally going to go hopes and dreams to people. That's what's happening.
Like even here, like Soko's response, I do want to wish him the best here. I think he deserves his rest. That's why like I don't get the impression that he feels shame for the events for these most recent events, right? Like I think the common takeaway from this that people have, like the regular player, probably doesn't get that message. I do think you can interpret it here, but I don't know if that's what they're getting. Maybe the writers watched Pulp Fiction and he got the Jules arc. He just went sent up. He just wanted to walk the earth. True. No. So yeah, I think I would agree. I would agree with your idea. I think that would have been a much better kind of ending for the character if they had like hammered that point home. I don't think that's like, what they went for. Yeah.
It can even be that like not that like oh he thinks it was wrong to like take care of it too, and he did. It's more that like what the consequences were not good. Like he meant good. He wanted to do good, but like the consequences were what they were. So he doesn't think he can actually like he's afraid of making the same mistakes.
Yeah, he's afraid of like advising. If his advice leads to this, then like we know what. Like what good is his like advice and wisdom and his like again his words, right? Yeah.
Again, I'm curious to know like what was this dialogue in original, like before being localized, because it might have been slightly different. Because again, like to me, when I saw the shaved head, like knowing that culture reference, that was pretty obvious. But they specifically said, "Oh, I'm gonna become a monk." So like that like signifies to me that it's very likely that it's a localization thing. So maybe he said something else in original.
So here's a better question, actually. Now that we're, because I would not be surprised if like that's the last we see of this character for quite some time.
I mean, I think we'll see him again, just not soon.
No, yeah. No, that's why they're doing it, obviously. Like, that's why they're doing it.
Yeah.
This is like them saying, hey, we're going to bring him back, like, in a future expansion, maybe. Like, we're leaving it open. With what they decide to do with the characters, do you agree with them bringing back Azula and Gosetsu and not having them stay dead? With now knowing what they did with them here in the story. Not what they could have done, because obviously they could have done everything better.
Ask the question again. Okay,
do you think it was a good decision to retcon the death of Azula and Gosetsu, now seeing what they did with the characters?
Considering the plot that they went with.
Yes. Not what they could have done, but what they did.
Yeah, with what they did, no. With what they could have done, yes.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I think they... Considering what they've done with the characters,
they had a good start. They had a catch. There were some things that were intriguing, but they didn't lead to what we wanted.
Yeah, I agree. I think they should have just died in the MSQ, like, considering what they decided to do with the characters here.
No, I think they should write a better story.
That's the best. Like the best answer is just they should have just had a better story. Yes, that is.
They should have went with. No, they should have went with what was originally like teased there, which is like this story analyzing like people's approach to like hair being disabled or maybe not being disabled, like hair crimes in the past, to like potential like diplomacy. Like that was interesting. The moment they turn the villain into like this, Sunday cartoon villain of like haha I'm evil, that's when it becomes boring. Like that's when you lose my interest.
Yeah. Because they did that with both of them. Like they didn't have to, right? They did that. Yes. They did it to both Zuko and Azula again, and they didn't need to do that.
Yes. Arguably, they could even like pull off like conflicted Azula, where like she gets her memory back, but she also like remembers what has happened for the past week or so, and like she's conflicted because for the first time someone is nice to her.
Yeah.
Like she's never experienced that.
Remember, that's why I thought she was gonna kill herself. Like that's what I thought was. Remember my initial prediction was that she was gonna kill her parents, then kill her brother, then kill herself. Like that was my initial thoughts on that. And she almost did.
That's what I mean. Like that part would be interesting. Like analyzing the people's reactions to things, people's psychology of things, and kind of how they're processing what is happening. But instead, it's oh, there's this evil guy who will now turn her into primal, and now they're all evil, and now they're dead.
Yeah.
They didn't get that interesting part of people processing complicated things.
Yeah. Now the next big question, which we've still yet to find out, is whether it was worth it bringing Xenos back to life. That's going to be the next big question. Well, was it a good thing that they retconned this?
No.
We're
My
gonna find out.
answer is no. You know why?
Why?
For the exact same reason as it was not worth it here. Because if you remember, our favorite part about Xenos was his relation with Fordola, and as we know, that doesn't exist anymore.
I like how they tease a potential relationship with him and Zuko, and then they never explored that because they just killed him anyway, and they just. No,
I don't think there would be a relation with it. Like he's still just an underling. Although it was cute that he knew his name.
They could. I would push back against it. I would say that if they wanted to, they could have done something more there. If they had kept Zuko alive, and if they had kept him from being a comical villain,
sure,
yeah,
sure.
exactly. Like they could have written interactions there. When it comes to
that I
what
agree.
They
If he survived, and if he as you said, if he didn't become a comical villain, but was more of this cunning personality, then no, that I could definitely see him working with Xenos, and actually being an interesting story.
Yeah. For me, I would say the jury is still out on Xenos because we don't know what they're doing with the character yet. So we'll see if they fumble it. I have no faith.
Here's the thing about Xenos, though. Why does Xenos care?
About what?
About Domans. Because their main thing, if you remember, back when we first met Xenos, back in the proper Stormblood not expansion, but the MSQ.
Yeah.
The thing about Xenos was that unlike all the other Gallian leaders we heard about, he was actually not interested in political power. All he cared about was the hunt. He just enjoyed the fighting, the hunt, and the strategizing, but he doesn't care about political power per se. It's convenient to him, but he doesn't care about it.
Okay,
specifically, the whole reason why Azula was a viceroy was because he didn't want to do it, because he was responsible for the whole.
That's also the reason why. That's also the reason. That's also the reason why Fordola fascinated him, because she was a fighter as well, and because of her position. So
and that's why I say why would Xenos suddenly care about politics?
So the better question is, Gopa, did the writers did they
no
did they play the MSQ? Do they know that? Do they know that?
Oh, no.
Do you want me to fax them? Do you want me to fax the Final Fantasy writers and tell them about their own character? Because they might not know.
Maybe,
they might not know that he.
Maybe the pager to check out.
Maybe they remember that he was almost quote unquote honor bound when it came to fighting and collecting samurai swords and all that stuff.
This was not about honor bound. He basically considered all the other nations prey.
Yeah.
He's just a hunter. Yeah.
Do you think I remember
that's why, as you said, that's why Fordola was fascinated to him, because he considered him like she was actually willing to fight, not just fight back, but she was willing to join him in that as well. So it was that kind of fascination where she's not quite on the same level as the cattle that he's hunting.
Yeah. I really know getting a 5 kilogram sofa to the third floor through a staircase was rough. Oh my! Be careful, Papi. Be careful. The ice stand.
Make sure to lift your legs, as they say.
Yes. Make sure to pivot. Yes.
Make sure to stretch as well. That's important.
But it sounds like you got it through, so good job. But take care of yourself, Papi. Take care of yourself. Be careful. So glad to hear.
The real question is, was the sofa made of Legos?
True. Yeah. Good friends to help me. Yeah, let's go. Let's go. Okay. Well, with that, you're back.
I've been here the whole time.
No, yeah. Didn't you switch your glow sticks to a different color? Am I crazy?
No, you're really crazy. What do you mean?
Okay.
Why would I? Why would I ever do that?
Yeah, you're switching them. Yeah. I noticed. I noticed.
I was checking which color I like the most. But, you know, it's yellow. Yellow is the most appropriate.
Okay. But, yeah, I think we're going to be wrapping up for today. We'll speak to these people here and hand in the quest next time.
Okay.
But yeah, a little bit shocking, not gonna lie. A little bit shocking that they decided to wrap up the story here instead of continuing it on into the next patch. Because my assumption was that this was going to be lasting until the end of Stormblood, but no.
Yeah, until the next expansion, right?
Yeah. Yes, that's kind of what it felt like, but looks like
to be fair, they do like have to like start the story of the next expansion at some point. But I would think if Alfino is going to Garlemald anyway, my idea would be that like this would like transition us into whatever is happening with Garlemald.
But
right?
I think it's too soon though. That's the other thing that I was thinking.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. If they wanted like the expansion to be about Garlemald, then you would have the entire post patch be about like that story, and that would be our way to be introduced to it, rather than ending here and now starting something else.
No, sorry, when I say too soon, like it feels like it's too soon to go to Garlemald when it comes to the greater idea of how many expansions there are. At least in my mind, like it feels wrong for that. That's why I just assumed that that Alfino was just going to go and just be absent from the story until he comes back.
Just not be there.
Yeah.
I guess.
But yeah, I guess we'll see. See what happens with all my Xenos. You're calling him Xenos instead of Xenos.
I don't know what his name is.
Let's see what happens there.
The way names are read never makes sense anyway.
I think similarly to Gosetsu and with Azula, how they wasted their return. It is concerning. Like the worst thing they can do, I'll say it now, the worst thing they can do is wreck on his death, bring him back, and then kill him in a patch. that would be the worst thing.
That would be the worst thing.
That would be the worst thing they could do. I would hope that they have learned from this and they're going to keep him alive. Yeah, they have a plan that they'll keep him alive into future expansions. I would hope that that's what they do with the character. I guess you could argue that's kind of what they did with Gosetsu, because he's marauding and roaming the lands. Like they can always call back to him and bring him back. The problem with that is, I didn't get to say this before, but I didn't buy the idea that he can no longer do any physical activity. Like I feel like they did. I don't think they did a good job at like hammering that home. I would hope that if they ever do bring him back, that they stick to it and that have him suddenly, you know, be a warrior again, because that would kind of like take away from everything that's happening here.
Yeah, no, if he's retired, he should stay retired.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens with that. Let's see if he grows his hair again.
Maybe. Or maybe not. See, that's the thing. I was like, this is kind of like reality of like, you know, computer games kind of thing, where they like show, you know, Yotsuyu, and like they didn't even change her dress. Like this is the same dress she was always wearing, and like, but at the same time, it's like, you know, that's the model for the character, and you know they would have to make an entire new model.
They let them do it. They can do it. They have to reuse the same asset.
Yeah, but they probably don't want to just for this single, like, you know, sequence. And like her general like image was already like very intense, you know, so they wanted to keep that because people remember the image.
It did feel weird when she showed up in her black and red like garb again.
Because remember that was her bulletproof kimono.
That was her bulletproof kimono. That actually, I said the same thing when her brother showed up and shot her twice. I was like, you know that her kimono is bulletproof, right? Like,
yeah, you know that she's wearing bulletproof kimono. That's true. I forgot. That's the one.
God.
But yeah, I would think she would like wear something different. But like again, that's like a nitpick, but like it's kind of like a game thing where like they would have a new model for that.
All right, well with that, we're gonna be wrapping up here for the time being. Next time we stream Final Fantasy should be towards the end of the week. We should be able to progress the MSQ, and it feels like we're on the cusp of a new like arc of the story.
Yes.
Involving most likely Xenos in some way. Again, like
I mean, unless this is the last we see of him before like Shadowbringers.
Yeah, we'll see.
It's possible that like as you said, like they remove Alphino and now we will go to like a different story until Shadowbringers probably.
Yeah. It's disappointing what they did with the story here, what they did with the characters. Again, it does feel like we'll see. Like it feels like they kind of wanted to change the overall direction of the story and the direction of the characters. And we'll see what that kind of leads into. We'll see what they want to do and if that's any better. I guess we'll see what the Squeenix team decide. And
Squeenix.
Yes, the Squeenix team. So they call them, unironically, Squeenix.
Yeah.
God, what else? But yeah, that was disappointing. I think so far, some good stuff that we've seen though is like all the animal stuff. Like that was good.
Yeah, a lot of side stories are pretty good. Like in general.
The old man turtle, it was good. And all
True. And Soraban being the next turtle.
Yeah. Like I don't think we had anything negative to say about that. So I think that was handled nicely.
It was silly, but like it was a whole story. Like, see, that's the thing. That's what like I don't know if I want to say bothers me the most, but like even in the MSQ, I see a lot of like good ideas and good potential, like intriguing details, but they're just not followed up in MSQ for some reason. It's like it's not like the whole thing is like bad. It's just that for some reason they set something up and then they don't follow it through.
Yeah. I would assume that that's gonna get better coming into the next expansion. My assumption is getting into Shadowbringers, and why Shadowbringers and Endwalker are regaled as highly as they are. I would assume that there is better structure, better direction, better.
Hopefully, they learned. What happened here.
And not even just better writing, but more consistent writing. I think that's what we're looking for.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like it's about the consistency, about like how the things should fit together instead of like, well, we just make this excuse so it's here, you know.
Yeah. I would assume that that's all going to be tightened up coming to Shadowbringers. Otherwise, like they would not be thought of as highly as they are. That's my assumption coming into them. But yeah, Stormblood has been crazy.
Yeah, and again, it's a shame because I see some good ideas there, but just they weren't followed through.
Yeah. But anyway,
yes, this is one of my favorite emotes now. It's just so.
It's
this is the head empty.
It's good. Yeah, it is the empty head emote. It's good, 100%. That's also why
I'm just vibing.
That's also why it did not fit how he got it. How this is meant to be a concert emote. It does not fit at all. But
it should be more intense, right?
It should be.
Like the paid ones.
Yeah.
Hold on. Where's my emotes?
Yeah, like that's more involved.
This should be. This should be like part of it.
Yes.
100%. Well, instead we can vibe.
Instead, there's just empty
space.
This
is just a vibing emote. It's like we're like, I don't know what's happening, but I'm here to vibe.
Alright. with that, thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for watching. Thanks so much for the support. We do appreciate it. We should be back on Friday with our next Final Fantasy stream. Again, we're slowly working through the MSQ. Again, should be back in 2 days. Right in around 3-ish. Yeah, 3-ish days. 3-ish days time. Otherwise, the next stream should be in around 8 hours. 8 hours time should be on our next cast. Should be casting Pegasus Cup. Pegasus Cup number 71. Should be on the Cranky Ducklings.
Yeah.
Otherwise, thank you for watching. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.